No. I think they can hear us.
So I was at the Dunkin' Donuts the other day, and there was this guy with a switchblade, and he really creeped me out. But you guys want to finish it? Because okay, never mind.
PSVR Gamescast Live, officially sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts and Dragon Fruit.
No,
and
not really.
Switchblades. Or
Maybe
Swiss
Dragon
Army
Fruit,
knives?
but not
Swiss
Dunkin'
Army?
Donuts.
Let's get this show started. Wow. We used to get copyright strikes for the Jaws music. We don't get them anymore. Well, I don't know what happened. It's not like I changed the music.
Nice.
Whatever.
Maybe the license expired on the copyright.
Yeah, what? How long do copyrights last for? Like 20 years or something like that?
I don't know. I completely made that up.
I'm pretty sure the Jaws music is still copyrighted, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
It'd probably renew it every few years and stuff.
Yeah, because what are they going to do with when the reboot comes out? You know, we're getting a new Jaws. I'm sure we'll get a new Jaws trilogy.
I hope so.
Is that you just you speculating, or?
That's me speculating, but I mean, they fucking remade everything else. Like,
who needs a Jaws remake when you have the Meg?
Oh God, I didn't like the Meg at all. That's one of the few movies I walked out of.
You don't like Jason Statham fighting a shark, eh?
He's just fine. I thought it was boring though. Like, I don't usually walk out of movies, but me and my friends were just like, we're done.
Wait, you went to see that in the theater?
That's back when MoviePass was a thing. And we had plans to see a different movie, but the only movie they supported at that point, this was like near the end of MoviePass. And you'd go and they'd be like, oh, sorry, we only have one movie available with MoviePass. And it was the Meg.
What's up, Toasted?
I guess.
Irish Meerkat, JD, Ezra, Jake, Chief, Robert Sullivan, Tax Refund, Dadman Gaming, Gay Panic, Gabe, what's up, dude? Polish Paul, good to see you. Stay
No.
warm.
Don't give Polish Paul a shout out. No.
I'll give Polish Paul some love.
Is he here? Oh, he is here.
Yeah.
Got to give some love to the village.
So wait, so hold on a second. I'm really out of the loop, Dave. When did MoviePass stop being a thing?
Oh God, they went under. It didn't take that long. So originally they had problems fulfilling the orders, and everybody's like, "Is this even real? What is this shit?" Then they sent out some cards to people. They started working, but slowly they would like adjust the terms and conditions. So like all of a sudden you couldn't see any movie you wanted. You had to pick one of these like 2 or 3 movies, and then they were like raising the price on it, and you could see fewer movies per month. But this was like changing stuff you'd already subscribed to.
Gotcha.
So they basically just stripped out all the usefulness to meet their budget and not go completely in the red, and then nobody wanted it anymore. So I think it's pretty much done at this point.
That's too bad. I mean, it was a solid concept. I couldn't imagine that how anyone was making money off of it, though.
When it worked, yeah, of course, it's a stupid idea if you're trying to make money.
Right. This is PSVR Gamescast Live. My name's Bryan Paul from channel Without Parole down below the thing you're watching right now. In the middle, that is AJ from not only this channel but also PSVR Underground. He's our guides guy. He's our tips guy. He's our resident Beat Saber expert. And to our far left, that is Dave from Davestation VR. Dave, what have you been doing on your channel recently, man? It's like I haven't been keeping up to date.
So I tried to get some Quest stuff going, although I'm still focusing on PSVR, but it's been kind of dry this week for new PSVR stuff. We just got the Beat Saber update, which I did stream, but you get copyright blocked to eternity, and no one will ever see the video again.
Yeah.
So
I gotta say, man, we had a blast doing our Beat Saber stream. That was AJ doing it. It was when we heard during the stream that other streamers were getting their video blocked after they were done streaming. I passed that message along to him, and I was like, we just got to keep this thing going.
Yeah, never stop.
And so, I mean, we had like hundreds of people watching him, like, and it was just like it was like this party going on nonstop. And I was like, man, this is so much fun. But I'm going to be so sad when it's over because no one will ever see it again.
Yeah, and now it's gone forever. So luckily, some people got to see it and see how much of a monster AJ is at Beat Saber.
Crazy.
Everyone is constantly expressing disbelief that he can actually be playing at the level he is and talking and responding to comments.
I like that we're talking
because he's a madman.
I like that we're talking about him as if he's not here. So let's keep doing that.
He can speak for himself.
Yeah. But no, it's like when he starts to stream off and he's like, okay, we're gonna play this new DLC. I'm gonna start on Expert Plus.
Yeah, right.
I'm like that
Backwards from there.
half of me is like, that's cocky as shit, and the other half of me is like, but he does it, so he's kind of a god.
No, I was actually originally just intending to play it through Expert first, and then I was like, you know what, I'll try on the second song. I think it was I tried Expert Plus, and I got through it. So I was like, you know what, hell with it. I'll just roll with it. And for the most part, I know people are kind of mixed on that DLC pack, and I really do apologize for anybody that wanted to check out that stream and can't because it got removed.
Yeah.
I don't really know why. It never got any violations. It only got copyright claims, so all the money would be going to Imagine Dragons label.
Yep.
And so I guess they just don't like money, but no, it's just some kind of error. And even Yaroslav Beck, the creator of Beat Saber, founder of Beat Game Studios, said, send me all of your links that got shut down and I'll try to fix it. I don't expect it to get fixed, but
yeah, well,
I do appreciate him at least acknowledging it.
Geisen just said in the chat that Gamertag did get his video released from the copyright. I also sent mine to Juris or anything back, and they never replied to my my public Beat Saber tweet saying like, hey guys, are we meant to be able to stream this? Because they've always been so supportive of streamers in the past, and really that's kind of where they made their name is streaming.
They
so
are.
It's weird to take a left turn and just be like, oh wait, you can't stream any of this. Like,
well, it's not necessarily their decision. It's a record label's decision. So they're trying to get it sorted out. So hopefully they get it soon. But they didn't respond to you directly, but they posted a public tweet saying we're aware that things are getting shut down, so we're working on it. And like I said, I'm not really that optimistic that it's going to get fixed, but
yeah, I mean, it's Imagine Dragons, like one of the most copyrighted bands.
Right. If it was a less popular band, then nobody would really care, and they could.
That's the double-edged sword, because everybody wants really popular stuff that they know in there, and then you get people saying, "What? Imagine Dragons? I didn't want this crap." Yeah. And it's like, you asked for popular. This is like one of the most popular bands, and everyone knows these songs. And even if you don't think you do, you start playing it and you're like, oh, that song from the commercial, from the sports game.
And the whole thing is super inconsistent. You'll see tons of people who have their streams still up, tons of people who don't have their streams still up. So we're gonna see how this all kind of pans out. I don't think this is the end of the story. So with any like 6,000 people have already seen AJ's stream. That's awesome. It was.
Thank you guys.
I think after the stream was over, a bunch of people still got to see it.
Until it finished processing.
Until it finished processing, and then I actually spent some time with YouTube support, their live chat, talking to them, being like, because it says there's no viewing restrictions, but there's a bunch of copyright claims. I was like, so if there's no viewing restrictions, I'm like, why can't we see it? So we went back and forth for a little while. I don't think anything's going to come of it, but hopefully everyone's streams will be released soon, because man, especially AJ's, that was a special moment in history, and I hope everyone gets to witness that.
It was a lot of fun. If not, I'll stream it again, even if it gets taken down again.
Yeah, why not?
I'll stream it
fun
again
while it lasts.
every single time. I don't even care.
Yeah, it's a little strange. It doesn't get shut down while you're doing it. It's just like,
yeah. It's just fun to hang out with you guys. I mean, you guys are the best community in the world. So, I would do it 1,000 times over again.
And since we're already talking about it, just to throw it out there, it's a really good DLC pack, even though I don't like Imagine Dragons. I enjoyed the mapping a lot. Like, once you start playing the songs, you can see what it is about them that makes them well-suited to Beat Saber for a lot of them. There are a couple that I don't really think fit very well or weren't mapped as well as I'd like. But for the most part, they're really well done, and they introduced some new stuff as far as the patterns that I haven't seen in previous DLC. That looks kind of like it came from sort of like custom songs, where people introduce kind of weird off-the-wall patterns, and they start incorporating those back in. So even if you don't like Imagine Dragons, if you love Beat Saber, take a chance on it. The only problem is those songs will get stuck in your head, which is a real pain in the ass. Because like, I knew when I started playing, I was like, I'm going to have Imagine Dragons stuck in my goddamn head. And of course, I've been playing a ton of custom songs on Beat Saber, but I still just have Imagine Dragons stuck in my head.
It's good. I really like the fact that it's something different. I think because I didn't really listen to a lot of Imagine Dragons either, but the fact that it's something different, it's not electronic, it kind of changes the variety. I appreciate that, and I still want my medal. Please, for the love of God, give me some metal. in Beat Saber to play with. But for now, some variety to it, something else was pretty nice. If you don't like all the songs and don't want to buy the whole thing, I do recommend you buy the whole thing because it's cheaper. If you don't, the most fun mapping songs or the most challenging on Expert Plus are Radioactive and Warriors. Those are my recommendations for 2.
And is that one called Machine? The name of that one?
Yeah, Machine.
That one I would avoid at all costs. If you're buying individual, the mapping is awkward, and I didn't enjoy that one. That's my least favorite.
All right.
Yeah. I've seen a mix of comments from people saying, I can't believe that, that they're forcing us to listen to Imagine Dragons. Sorry, that siren's on my end.
You don't have to buy it.
That's the thing. It's and then the response to that is, well, there's not enough DLC coming out, so it's like this is all there is, and blah blah blah. It's only coming out every couple months. I think you're going to see a lot more DLC for Beat Saber throughout the course of this year. I think we're going to see a ton of different artist packs. Then we'll probably get a bunch of different like random ones as well. I was saying, I think it was it last week on the Gamescast? I was saying that like. I'm actually highly in favor of what they're doing if they keep doing this like 10-song band or artist packs, because it's not like we have to like rebuy the entire game like we used to have to with like Rock Band when they did the Aerosmith one, the versions, the Green Day versions. Right. Did they do a Metallica one? They did the Beatles one. Like it just seemed like
everything.
Yeah, and it's like and they do these like full releases where it was ridiculous. It was just I mean, a little bit over the top. It'd be like, here's a full another release. You're spending $40 for it, and I'm sure there were a ton of songs, but this is like
I'm okay with the DLC packs. I wish they were $10 instead of $12.99. But like I said, it adds a lot of replay value to the thing, and if you don't want it, you don't have to have it. So I'm all for it.
Goes back to the thing that Des always says: not everything is for you.
Right.
And so if you keep that in mind, then you're pretty much good to go.
But still bring us some metal, Beat Saber. Come on, guys.
Yeah, variety.
I think it'll be a while before like a metal pack.
Well,
if they have a rock pack, there might be a couple of songs, but I think a full-on metal pack.
The last thing I want to add is just real quick is Overkill was their most popular song on the last pack. And I was really optimistic that because that they would be like, oh yeah, people really like metal. But, we'll just have to wait and see. They posted another tweet saying, their goal is to make everybody happy. So we're going to see tons of more packs to come, and everybody should get something in the end. And
I'm still waiting for that K-pop pack they were talking about.
Yeah,
I want just like 10 songs of K-pop.
That'll be fun.
Just like injected into my veins.
All right.
And I think that was I know there was like Slumball that came out on the European PlayStation Store this week
with all those realistic environments that they've got. On Slumball. Do you know about this?
One of the weirdest. Actually, you know what? Like, let's play the trailer, man. Just because
I bet the trailer says something about how realistic the environments are.
Yeah, I don't know. It might.
I saw the trailer for it. Yeah, it seemed like you just like sit in a room and like throw some. You try to aim and throw stuff. Or...
Well, so yeah, basically it's like a racquetball kind of thing or something. You've got a little ball. You're in a skinny hallway usually. And there's just these various environments. And one of the biggest selling points is that they made them photorealistic by like mapping stuff with a camera and then putting it in VR.
Yeah.
But the way the levels are set up looks like total nonsense. So the idea of it being super realistic kind of goes out the window immediately. It just looks like, if you took the design concepts behind fucking Vertigo Home and applied them to a game like this is what you'd get. They're just weird, like floating gas cans spinning around in the air for no reason that you got to hit. Like it doesn't make any sense.
It's basically, is it like Pong? Like what exactly are we doing with this thing?
Just like you hit the ball. I'm not really sure what. They say it's a fitness game too. I think.
Yeah.
It seems like I don't know. It's from the same devs who brought us. What was the game that they made before? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. It's kind of a stinker. Let me find it.
I didn't look into the developer. I didn't actually know that they'd made anything before, so I'm curious to hear what it was. The trailer just looks like, man, it looks like one player Spark. It looks like one player. It looks like the like a bad version of what's the thing from Knockout League? The like not Workout Alley. What the hell is it called?
Oh, yes. I remember what they made. They made Thug Life.
Come on.
This is the same studio that made Thug Life.
All right, avoid it all
that's
costs.
That's why I'm so excited to shit on it.
Yeah, I can't wait till we talk about E3 because I have no interest in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't need
There's
to talk
so many
about
good
Slimball
games,
anymore.
so many amazing games to talk about that I want to get into.
Slimball is one of those games that, like, it came out on the European store, and I just never expect to ever see it on the North American store. Thug Life never made it here, which I'm totally fine with. Fine with that. You guys want to dive into E3? That's sort of like all the news that's been happening this week.
Right. We've got a list of games to go through. I know during first of all, thank you to Upload VR once again, Jamie over there for hosting the E3 conference. Really appreciate you guys because that was our own special little VR E3, never been done before.
Yeah.
So big shout out to those guys. Those guys are awesome. And there was a lot of games that we saw that didn't have a PSVR logo. However, we've gotten confirmation for some of them, and a lot of them as well that are, rumored to be coming to PSVR. So we're going to be mainly focusing on the ones that were announced as coming to all major VR platforms, not high-end platforms, not speculating that, once it gets done on PC, we might bring it to PSVR, but the ones that said that basically they're coming to all major platforms, we're going to go ahead and include today. And there's a couple really good ones that I can't wait to get into. Yes, that is one of them, Mr. Polish Ball. So what do you guys want to get into first? I say we could get into maybe Pistol Whip first.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that was
I have two that I want to go really in depth on, that I got lots of info on, that I can't wait.
Pistol Whip is a good place to start. Oh crap! Hold on, man.
Is this the trailer hunting moment?
No. The trailer's up. It's just gigantic. I'm like really bad at this sometimes. But Pistol Whip is by strangely Cloudhead Games, who made the Gallery on PC VR. There we go. Now it's the right size. And so like their pedigree is adventure games, like kind of point and click sort of slow paced adventure games. And then they're like, hey, now we've made this nonstop, like, high octane, fast paced shooting game. And I'm just like, oh, okay, that's a cool departure, man. But like, I'm like, you got to wonder, like, why? But what do you guys think of the way this thing looks?
I'm excited about it. I think it looks like a lot of fun. I mean, in theory, the concept of combining a first-person shooter with a rhythm game, if it's done well, could be really cool. And, since it's on rails, it's not Time Crisis, but at least I like rail shooters. Rail shooters are fun. The only thing that I worry about is that sometimes people say, let's make this style of game a rhythm game.
Yeah.
But the elements just don't fit the right way to make it satisfying. And the stuff they're saying about, like, you can shoot the guys in any order you want, they just appear. To me, that sort of goes against the whole grain of, like, the DNA of a fucking rhythm game. Like, it comes in a certain order. Well, a rhythm game, actually, because, like, it always is in the same order every time. You hit it in this order because it corresponds to the music if you hit it that way. If I shoot a guy up here and then I wait 3 seconds and then I shoot these guys over here, I don't know how it's all going to sound together. But maybe they've come up with some really cool way of triggering all those sounds so it sounds, like of a piece and actually like music. I guess we'll see. I just think sometimes when you throw rhythm games into something, the rhythm game part kind of dies and it's not fun as a rhythm game. So we'll see. But it looks entertaining. So I like the style.
Yeah, my 2 cents real quick. I was, when they were announcing it, I was a little like, when they mentioned that, it doesn't matter how precise your aiming is. I'm like, well, that's something that I love, is having to hit the target right on the nose or whatever. But I think I started to realize what they're going for here, and they're trying to make it fun. Like I honestly think it's going to be. Obviously, I don't know if it's going to be like super hot caliber fun, but I think it's kind of going for like a super hot and rhythm based game. And the constant moving, the constant action, I think is actually going to make it pretty fun. And so I'm really excited about it. I love the style for it. and I am definitely looking forward to it. Real quick, let me just get this out of the way. Zachary T, I saw your message about the head strap being too tight. Man, if somebody can post him a link to our Discord, I've got a thread for you, man. I've sent it to 2 other people that thought the headset was too tight. So if you join our Discord and just ask for it, I will send you the link, and it's worked for 2 people. But anyways, back to that. Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty fun. I think it's going to be fun, rhythm based and colorful, and people that like super hot, shooty fruity stuff like that. I think it's going to fall into that same category.
So what do you think for people who like Beat Blaster? Because no offense,
it's way better than Beat Blaster.
But does it though? It just looks like,
oh my god, 100 times better than Beat Blaster.
What about this looks better than Beat Blaster? I'm like,
okay, Beat Blaster wasn't fun,
a little more style
really.
and substance.
And Beat Blaster, the enemies that kill you are just like a weird rotating fan that you don't even see until you've died on twice.
Okay,
it's like really low to the floor,
so
and it's just like
the enemies. Okay,
the excitement isn't there. I didn't have that much fun playing Beat Blaster, and also it's structured in that way where it's super arcadey, where like you're just going to die over and over and over and over and over again on this one stage until you get past it. Whereas this one, they kind of said it's going to be more accessible. You're going to be able to blast through, and it's not going to matter so much if you're doing everything right, as long as it's like fun and immersive and cool. So
yeah, I like the style of it. I think visually is the big difference I see between Beat Blaster and Pistol Whip. I think this is going to have a much more fun, like visual aesthetic to it. And I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. We've only seen the trailer they showed really wasn't much to go off of. It didn't really have any gameplay. It was more of a concept trailer.
It had gameplay.
No, I think that's the problem, is that they showed gameplay. They showed a ton of gameplay, and it looks like every single scene looked exactly the same. It was like I didn't.
True, there wasn't much variation. If there's not much variation in like the color palette or the level design and stuff like that, I could see it getting really boring really fast.
Well, and in fact, I think the color palette
conceptually it's really cool.
The color palette, I think, is their like progression is like so like
right. That's what's gonna all matter is if the progression, the variety. That's what's gonna make or break it for this game. But I think the gunplay is going to be fun and solid, but all these things, it's going to still rely on this variety, price, and depth of it all.
I was just going to say price, because like if it's over $20, that's a whole different story.
It's going to be pushing it.
Like we'll see how deep it is, but I would call it a $15 or $20 game based on what I saw.
Yeah,
but that's how much Beat Blaster charged, and it looks better than Beat Blaster to me. So
I think,
and this is a studio, like you said, has an actual history. They've made games that people know of in the past and stuff.
In quality games, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So but I mean, the polish is going to be a lot higher than a Beat Blaster or a game like that.
Well, I mean, Ivanovich made Beat Blaster, and Operation Warcade, despite its like kind of like low budget aesthetic, was really fun.
Yeah. So I mean, Operation Warcade is great, but it is like janky and sort of an acquired taste, and like only if you really love those old arcade games.
Yeah.
I'm the last person to worry about graphics, and that game bothered me graphically.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, graphics don't bother me, and like I almost enjoyed like the PS1 aesthetic. I loved getting thrown into like a vehicle every so often, driving with one hand, shooting with another. I was like, why don't we have full games that are like this? Like, why I've yet to play a game in VR where I'm driving with one hand and shooting with another as the core gameplay mechanic. I was like, just with Pistol Whip, I'm like, put me in a car. Let me drive, man. Let me just drive down and like mow these guys down and like pop them off one by one. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, I mean, with Blood and Truth, you really, it's going to be hard to compete against that. But like you said, if they nail the price point and some variety to it, some replayability, then they're good.
Yeah, I'm curious, man. I'm like this one. I always try to give games the benefit of the doubt. I feel like this one has something to prove because they showed a ton of gameplay and all the gameplay looks identical, and I'm like, well, that better be fun to play because that looks like.
I guess you could say the same thing. Somebody mentioned like Beat Saber or maybe like Super Hot. Like they have pretty samey visual styles. So Super Hot doesn't change,
but it's so quality that
but
it's
we haven't seen this inside the headset either.
Right.
Super Hot on a flat screen looks cool, but it's not the same. Yeah. So I think let's wait and see. But I've got good high hopes for this one. I think it will turn out pretty well.
In all fairness, those games I didn't know how much I loved Beat Saber or Super Hot until I played them either. So like so some games you look at the trailer and you go, I need to play this game, and I don't think I felt that way for either of those games until I played them. This game falls into that category too. So I've got high hopes for it. I always want the best. I always want every game to succeed, and I always want every game to be awesome, because that's kind of where we stand as, like, gamers. We want more games. We want them all to be good. But man, this one it doesn't resonate with me yet. Hopefully, as soon as I get into the headset and grab a couple Move controllers, this looks like a single wielding. It does not look like we're dual wielding in this. I just see one gun the entire trailer.
That's interesting. I wonder if there's like an upgrade you get, like, you shoot a second.
Dave, I know you probably can't do anything about this, but your mic is cutting out a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, somebody else mentioned that in the chat, and I don't know what that's about. I mean, it's got to be my internet, I guess, but
yeah, your video seems to be fine. So
yeah, sorry about that. I can unplug and plug it back in, but we'll see if that does anything.
All right, so that was, boy, this is going to be a long episode.
Yeah.
All right, what's our next game?
So Brian, I'll go ahead and post. I don't know if you have eyes on the private chat we have here, but I can tell you what I'm going to talk about next, or list next, so you can have the trailer ready.
I don't know if I'm allowed to switch screens anymore. I've gotten into trouble before.
Can you guys hear me? Okay. Is that working?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see if that fixed anything. Probably not.
Okay.
But, hear what I'm saying anyway.
So I Expect You to Die, and that's what, Shell Games?
Shell Games, yeah.
Yeah, they're coming out with that fancy other
They have
soon too.
free DLC called Seat of Power that's coming out, and it's actually coming out July 16th, so next month, and it's free DLC, and I know there's a lot of people that love I Expect You to Die. It's a really, really cool kind of puzzle survival. It's like being James Bond trapped and having to figure out how to escape every single time.
It's an escape room game, but it's really well done.
It's a fun twist on the escape room game, though. There's a lot of escape rooms on PSVR that are all just like, you're in a creepy kind of low-budget room and trying to get out.
Hey, leave 18 floors out of this.
I was thinking about, what's that other one?
Dying Reborn.
Dying Reborn. That's exactly the one I was thinking of, yeah. With the weird fish guys.
You guys are mean. I like that game.
This one
it was okay, actually. It wasn't that bad. I didn't hate it.
Yeah, we don't really have a whole lot to go into on what you got.
I know
on that.
So basically, if you haven't seen the trailer for that one, it seems like you finally made it to like the enemy's lair, or like his head boardroom or something like that. You know how Dr. Evil has the room where he sits and everybody discusses evil plots. It takes place in that room, so I think it's probably just one new stage, but maybe there's like multiple scenarios in it or something. They showed a lot of little gameplay footage, like switching switches, flicking switches. I don't know.
Sure.
Real quick shout out to Wolfie Smith, the Game Cub. Meow. He says, "Sorry, I'm late. Nearly missed it." No, you are right on time. We only just begun. And
31 says, goddamn minutes.
So I guess thanks, Shatz. Let him know he was. I saw Wolfie. He was playing In Death some more.
Nice.
He's an In Death junkie. And good reason.
Yeah, anybody who's Wolfie's one of the few people taking advantage of our new channel on the Discord server. Whenever you go live and want to share your live stream, go to our Go Live channel on the Discord and tell people that you're going to play, man. It's like, it's nothing better than having a few hundred game cats watch you as you play. We got an awesome community. So make sure he does it, man, and every time he does it, I try to tune in. So make sure you do that, because otherwise I won't know that you're playing a game.
Wait, hold the presses. Kill a cell 777 20
Whoa.
Big ones.
Holy shit!
And no message. So we just have to say thank you.
Kill a cell. If you want to say something, we'll read your message for you.
Read it out loud.
But thank you for the donation.
Thank you very much. It looks like I might get some pizza tonight. Thank you very much for the donation.
Get Bryan pizza.
Real quick about I Expect You to Die. Mad props to Shell Games, because obviously, we're constantly dealing with like these, smaller developers who think that the way to go, the way to make more money, is to, constantly sell us more DLC. And Shell Games has taken the opposite approach. Des and I talked about this on Viewer Takeover, that I'm sorry about the erratic schedule of Without Parole this week, but man, I'm doing my best to get all caught up. But they've taken this alternative approach, which is kind of like they believe in their game, I think, more than most developers do, where they say, hey, you know what, if we keep adding content to our game and get people talking about it again, then the people who haven't bought it yet are probably going to now they're going to buy the game. So instead of marketing, DLC to the people who have already bought your game, what they seem to be doing is marketing their game to the people who haven't bought their game yet, and getting everyone talking about it again. So I mean, I'm just gonna shout out right now, be like, dude, if you guys have not bought I Expect You to Die yet, go buy I Expect You to Die.
Yeah.
So
support a developer who probably won't break their entire game trying to.
Your mic cut out during the last part of that, Dave, but I heard just enough of it. We all know what you were saying. I'm actually sitting here muting your mic just to keep us out of trouble.
So we don't talk about Firewall anymore.
Yeah, well, if there was something to talk about, I'd be happy to talk about Firewall.
Well, there's a new patch. Some people say it's fixed. Some people say it's not.
It's not 100% fixed.
Yeah,
but
it's moving in the direction of fixed more than some of the
previous We'll get into that when we talk about FCE here in a minute.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we will. Okay.
We have they announced the game at E3, so we'll talk about that there.
Should we?
But next, just briefly.
Okay.
But the question is, should they have? And
that is the better question for sure.
But okay, so next we got some more details on the Arizona Sunshine DLC for The Damned.
Oh, nice.
And they showed off like a little bit more gameplay, a little bit more info. And yeah, that really has me excited to jump back into Arizona Sunshine. Unfortunately, I've had some bug issues with that game, but I really want to try and muscle through it and get back into it and play it with some people and play the DLC. I did play the other DLC, the first one that came out,
Dead Man DLC.
Man DLC with JD Melks, and we had an absolute blast. So, and then want to get back into that. What do you guys think?
I played the DLC, the Dead Man DLC with GT, and I will say, man, like that half of the fun that we had in that game was making fun of the animations. Like because watching the other character walk around, you can absolutely tell that the game was not designed with full locomotion in mind. Because all you're seeing is you have the guy stutter around like he's like just like out
My favorite part is when he keeps one leg flat on the ground.
Yeah,
like
and
he's just dragging the other.
The animation is hilarious. It's almost worth it just for that alone, and it's really bad.
It's one of those things where it's not even a bug; it's a feature because you're just like you said, half the fun they even had was how stupid it looked.
Right.
Yeah, and that was part of it. It was awful. Like the movement and stuff was awful when I played with JD, but it was still a lot of fun. And the zombies are really cool.
But I mean, but the question is like, is it? I mean, I don't know, man. It's like I have an issue with Arizona Sunshine because they're still charging $40 for for a game that
hasn't gone down in price.
Not as a. I mean, they've had it on sale.
Too expensive at launch, man. $40 is too much when it came out.
Well, that's exactly the point. It was too expensive. It is too expensive at $40 when it came out. They've made a ton of improvements and they've totally fixed the. Got all the horde modes. Like the horde modes are greatly improved now. Like so, playing multiplayer stuff is way better. So I'll give them credit for that. And they've improved the controls. And there were some tracking issues. And it all seems to be like works better now. But it's still janky. So anyone who doesn't admit that it's janky is out of their goddamn minds. And it should be a $20 game at this point. And so when I played Dead Man DLC and it was like 45 minutes or something, and it like retreaded a lot of the same areas as the first game, I was like. I understand it was a $2.50 DLC pack, but like, I'd rather just not have it at all if it was going to like just retread a bunch of shit.
So that's the feeling I have about this one is that like, I don't know if I'm excited at all because I played the other DLC, I played the game, and the whole time I felt like, okay, the core elements of this are not something that I like that much. Maybe it's just the port. Maybe I just don't like Arizona Sunshine very much. So more of it.
I like it when it works.
Even when it's working for me, it just didn't really. Something was not hitting for me. It seemed a lot jankier and less good than everyone gives it credit for. Everyone thinks it's this great. It's well received on PC platforms. People were excited for it to come over. People are still excited, and I see people saying it's one of their favorite games. Yeah. But it just never hit me in any certain way to make me enjoy it. So really, more DLC is just more of something I don't care that much about. But it's only $250 like the last one.
As much as I shit on it, man, like I still love killing zombies and I still enjoy the game. Like I still like it. So like I'm not going to say, you know, and this looks like it's all new territory, right? This looks like they're calling it their biggest map yet or whatever. So like I'm curious to know how much they're going to charge for it. That's a big question.
Yeah, it probably won't be $250.
Okay.
But actually, the environments are the one thing about this trailer that I'm kind of excited about, because they do look a lot more expansive and varied compared to what we've already seen in the game.
No, for sure.
Brian, go ahead.
Make it better.
Sorry.
No, I'm done. That's fine.
Brian, go ahead and pull up get the trailer ready for Espire 1, because we're going to cover that next. But real quick shout out to Shat79 the Game Cat. Meow. And he says, best PSVR channel / resource out there. Thanks, GC, Dave, and Brian. Thank you, Shats. We firmly believe that we have the best PSVR community, one of the best online gaming communities, something where people get along. It's completely non-toxic. So we appreciate you guys very much. And Killa Cell also donated another $20. Man, this guy is on fire. Thank you so much. And he says, no problem, Brian. I've played with you before on Firewall 0 Hour. Love your content.
I will just to return Killicell's message. He carries me when we play Firewall, because I'd love to say that I remember him specifically, but anyone I play Firewall with carries me in Firewall. So
I always end up in squads with like level 50 guys,
yeah.
And I just sort of like work the cameras after I'm dead, and that's like my major contribution.
Dude, I'm so bad at callouts. I've been playing a lot of.
I am too.
We'll get to Aspire 1 in just a second here, but like Firewall, man, like everyone who plays Firewall and they play it religiously, like they know that game inside out. They know like they know like how to refer to everything and like in
spawn points.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I will say that I've been playing a lot of Honor and Duty D-Day this week, and I got to say, man, people who take that game seriously are amazing. Like when I first started playing D-Day, it was just chaos, and like I'll just like run out as a team and just be like, guns blazing, and everyone would fall down dying, and it would just be mad chaos. And then like people started taking it seriously, and like you play Honor and Duty D-Day now, and it's the same thing as playing Firewall, man. Everyone's like being all stealthy, and they know their call outs, and they have, you know, every single location is like, you know, it's got a different name, and it's like really impressive to play D-Day now. So like just if you guys aren't playing D-Day in Firewall's absence, you should be. Like that is like
it has definitely been flooded ever since the Firewall issues happened.
Yeah. Also, this is a much more expensive option, but I think it's still on sale for Days of Play. Space Junkies is a really good alternative.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of people have hopped over to Space Junkies since Firewall.
That has filled up as well.
Had issues, and it's a lot less. There's a lot less issues with matchmaking.
It's very polished, and it has move support now.
It's got move support. It's great.
Good. All right, let's do Aspire 1, and then anyone who tuned into this for a Summer Funland European key, we'll do that after Aspire 1, and then if anyone read the description of this video, we're also giving away a North American $20 PlayStation Network gift card. We'll do that a little bit later in the show, so keep that in mind. So you might want to stick around if you want to win that. All right, let's do Aspire 1.
All right, so one of the games that has me the most excited from this E3, this is one of the best games I thought we saw there, and it's called Aspire 1. It's by Digital Load down in Australia, and it's also published by Tripwire, who made Killing Floor Incursion, a fantastic action game. But essentially, we've gotten some more info on it. Basically, there's going to be you're going to be controlling the Aspire Model 1 operative, and it's going to utilize head and hand tracking. There's supposed to be like full locomotion, full freedom of movement, I should say. And they're describing it as GoldenEye 007 and Metal Gear Solid as major influences.
You can't throw those around. This better be an awesome game.
Yes.
But they're throwing around Metal Gear Solid.
But as you can hopefully see on the screen, it looks incredible.
It does.
And you're going to be basically an Aspire agent controlling a drone, and the viewpoint you're going to have is called the Aspire Control Theater, and that's theater. And you'll have full control over it, and you'll be doing different missions. So the game is actually going to feature 200 virtual challenges and a sandbox environment to test out and run through the core stealth mechanics and everything. It is like supposed to be story driven a little bit. I don't know how much of a story it's going to have, but it's going to basically utilize stealth and espionage. It's going to have gunplay, stuff like climbing, hiding bodies, and like crawling through vents, where I guess is where they get the Metal Gear Solid stuff from. But that's basically a lot of the information I was able to dig up on this. And from the trailer alone, I was already super excited. It's one of my most anticipated now. And we're going to be getting it in around August.
But the question is can we play as naked Raiden?
Raiden. Raiden's from Mortal Kombat.
Oh, is it Raiden?
Oh, you're talking about the Metal Gear Solid Raiden, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
Raiden.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. I haven't played Metal Gear Solid 2.
Revengeance, right?
No. He is from
Metal Gear
Revengeance, but he originally was in Metal Gear Solid 2.
Well, yeah, no,
as a surprise.
The most recent.
You're right. It is Raiden. Holy crap, man! Like that is. I literally haven't played Metal Gear Solid 2 since it came out on PS2.
Yeah. Hopefully you were paying attention to everything I just said,
No.
and you caught those details.
I did.
Because that is some big stuff. Well, tell me your thoughts on that game. What do you guys feel about that game?
The thing you didn't mention, this was in the trailer. This looked pretty cool. You can sneak up behind a guard and tell him to freeze, and he'll freeze. It
With
takes
your
the
mouth.
mic input. Yeah, you say frease, and the guy goes, "Ah!"
Drop
cool,
your dog tags.
Exactly.
Drop your talk text.
Yeah.
Uh,
Dave looks frozen.
look,
Dave is frozen. At least he's got a happy smile on
At
his
least he's happy.
face.
Oh no, David, come back to. Oh, there you are.
There he is. You're back.
I don't know what's going on with my internet. We've been having a bunch of storms. Let me do a speed test. Anyways, I was just saying it looks like a great game. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
I'll let you talk while I figure this out.
Yeah.
I gotta say, you know, when you're talking about the, like, you keep seeing this in the trailer over and over, where he just kind of like he just looks off to the side, and there's like a big metal wall or a big metal crate or something, and just like I'm just gonna climb up this wall over here. And like, can we just do that whenever? Like, I mean,
Oh yeah, no, they talked about that. Almost all the metal walls are. So that's a big locomotion aspect. You can go up and around, down on guys.
yeah,
It looked really cool. My internet speed is great. I don't know. This is Discord probably.
maybe.
Should I just close it and just rejoin the call, or?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, man. Like,
Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. Just give me a sec.
all right. I'm sure.
But yeah, Brian, tell me more about what else were you saying? Because I want to squeeze as much out of this. I mean, the 200 virtual challenges and a sandbox environment sounds amazing to me, content-wise.
Well, let me make sure we. All right, there we go. Yeah, no. So I mean, so here's what I don't like. I don't like sometimes when people word things strangely. Let's make sure. Let's see if we get Dave back here. All right, Dave's back.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
All right, cool.
All right.
Hopefully, I didn't switch the locations. Or
No,
the
no,
names all
no. You're all good. Everything's fine.
Sweet. All right.
So
Hopefully this works.
so the deal is like they said 200 challenges, and I'm like, and so I'm like, all right, tell me that this thing isn't like a list of 200 challenges, like because I don't want to I just don't want it to
picturing,
be like super hot, where it's like you have a menu and you're like, oh, okay, got to tackle all these things here. It's like if they're saying, okay, you know, you go into this and it's like narrative based and it's like all very cohesive, you know, then sign me up. But the thing I didn't like, and I know that this wasn't developed by Tripwire, but Tripwire, they said they did work very closely with Tripwire as a publisher, you know, and then almost like co-developed by. I don't think they went that far, but like they definitely helped in the development process.
Those lines, yeah, for sure.
And the thing I don't like about Killing Floor Incursion, because I love everything about Killing Floor Incursion, you know, as far as like, you know, man, the graphics are amazing and it's fun to kill those zombies and in the you know, the ragdoll physics and being able to chop off limbs, like everything about that's great. But all the levels feel a bit disjointed from each other. It's like, even though like they have this overarching narrative happening, like like, you know, with the person in your headset, the talking to you and like delivering the mission objectives and stuff, all the locations are so separate and so different from each other, and there's no connection to them, and it just feels like, oh, hey, here's 4 levels, see you, go do it. And I just never felt like it was like this cohesive narrative.
So I'll add real quick that I know there's a little bit of a story to it. I don't know how specific that goes, but I do know there's supposed to be some kind of story behind it. And Polish Paul, take this with a grain of salt.
Huge grain of salt.
But he says 3-hour campaign also on top of challenges. So we'll see.
Yeah, and if that's how it works, if they're like, okay, here, go through the campaign, and then when you're done, it's like, tackle these things. I'm like, all right, no, I'm totally down. That works for me. But I just, as long as the campaign is, a bit more glued together than...
Well, I have to imagine if they say 200 missions, but then we're talking about a 3-hour campaign, there's got to be some separation between this, because you can't fit 200 missions into 3 hours. That just
I
doesn't
was
make
thinking
sense.
about that. It seemed like it would be a lot longer.
It'd be cool if it had some stuff like what I was picturing when they say something like 200 missions is like the Metal Gear Solid VR missions.
Exactly.
Seems like the closest analog for that.
That's what I was thinking.
And I will say, though, based on the footage we've seen, I wouldn't worry about it seeming disjointed, because all the environments kind of look the same. Like they all have the same style and palette, like of colors and walls and windows. It just kind of all looks the same. So
the whole thing looks like Metal Gear 2.
Exactly, but I'm sure it'll still be really fun based on what I've seen. I'm just looking forward to it. Yeah,
I mean,
it's absolutely one of my most anticipated, and I'm really glad that we don't have to wait very long, because
2019,
August,
August specifically, huh?
Yep, August.
That's awesome. Yeah, dude, this is so cool, because like we were, the first half of 2019 was like so amazing for PSVR, and I it's just every single day it's like the second half of 2019 looks better and better. It's unbelievable. So no, that's what I'm looking forward to. Probably one of my most anticipated games as well.
And I like that it completely came out of nowhere. Like, we didn't get many E3 games that we didn't already know something about. Like, a lot of it was just like, okay, here's an update on this game. There were a few, like the Wizards update we can talk about later, but yeah, I didn't know anything about it, and it blew me away. So that's one of the few really exciting E3 ones.
I will just to clarify, Paul says that he watched an interview earlier, and that's where he heard there's a 3-hour campaign on top of on top of the challenges. So
gotcha.
Looks like content-wise, gameplay-wise, everything-wise. They also said motion sickness is not going to be an issue with the way that they handled it. We'll have to wait and see that, of course.
That's something we should talk about, because they did actually show a little bit of that in the trailer or the preview.
It looks,
and it's a system. It's a system I've never seen before, where essentially the grid around you. What did they call it in the? You mentioned it earlier. The theater, something like that. Okay. Anyways, what was it called?
Yeah, the Aspire control.
Okay, so from within that thing, wherever your gun is kind of pointing out and you're facing, there's like a little cutout where you can see clearly what's in front of you, but all around you is sort of gridded out, like there's a grid or it's not clear to you. And I think that's what's supposed to reduce the motion sickness, because you're just focused on that one little area in front of you. Hopefully you can turn it off or reduce it significantly, because I don't want to be wandering around with that thing in front of my face the whole time. Dave, I don't need it, but we'll see.
Dave, you just got way louder for some reason. I don't know what happened.
Okay, like, sorry. Can you adjust me? Or
mid-sentence, you got louder.
Weird.
All right, I don't know if you know what's going on over there.
I'll adjust it. But.
All right.
But yeah, Aspire 1, look forward to it in August. Cannot wait. One of my most anticipated instantly.
Again, price point always comes down. A big thing if it's a 3-hour game with a bunch of extra stuff to play. Hopefully, we're not talking about more than $30 here.
I think it's probably 30 or 40 tops. Probably 30.
Yeah,
am I sounding a little better now? I adjusted it a little bit.
I think so.
It reset to 100%. I had it lowered before. So
okay. I'm sure the chat will tell us if it's not even.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it sounds good.
Nice.
Yeah, so I guess now we have the Summer Funland giveaway.
Let's do it. Dave, you're in charge of this sucker.
Okay, guys. I have entered all the comments on the last PSVR this week into my beautiful comment picker on the internet.
He typed them all in manually. He typed in every single one.
All 188 unique commenters. That's how many different people commented trying to get a code for the European region for Summer Funland.
Good luck, everybody.
Or if you were just saying nice vid or something like that. But the winner is... All right.
Drum roll, please.
The winner is Mohammed Amine El Munabi. I probably butchered that, but Mohammed,
sound like
if you're out there, if you're watching, you're the winner. And I'm sure somebody will comment on your comment, let you know you won.
Yep.
But congratulations to Mohammed. Everybody, let's give him a round of applause in the chat. Some emojis, clapping emojis. Let's do that.
Thank you, Mohammed, for entering and winning. If you happen to see this before before the thing ends. Just respond to your own comment with your PSN name, and we'll send you a key, or we'll send you the key through the PlayStation Network. And if not, then I will respond to your comment and let you know that you won. Hopefully we can get this all settled tonight so you can be in Summer Funland and then be done with Summer Funland within the next 3 hours, because, man, that's about the extent of the Summer Funland fun. But
they are adding more stuff soon, so that's something worth noting. They're adding at least one new park, right? Like there's a whole new park that they're adding in.
Well, so I want to two things. First, shout out to Monad Rock for giving us the key to give away. Sorry for making fun of your game during the giveaway. But also, if you saw my review, I really enjoyed the 3 hours I spent with it. But the rides in the games in the park just for me didn't have the replayability as like a pure head arcade or a what's the
Carnival
other one?
Games.
Carnival Games.
Carnival
Thank
Games.
you. Those, I feel like those games are infinitely replayable, whereas this is like, here's a theme park experience. Here's an amusement park experience. Like, you go through it, you spend 3 hours, and you're like, all right, that was fun, but like I don't have a desire to replay those games and like, beat my scores.
The problem was the best things in Summer Funland were the experiences, like the Batman, the Gotham thing, and the underwater experience and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that, once you've seen it once or twice, the only thing you can really do is show it to other people to get them into VR.
Right.
And at that point, the versions of games that they have that are like Carnival games or Pure Head Arcade are just like the crappiest versions comparably. Like, you don't want to replay them. Carnival games, some of that stuff is actually pretty fun, and I'll sit there for like 20 minutes just fucking around on ring toss. But like, because it just feels good, and it feels like the actual game if you were at a carnival. These ones sort of seem like shoved in. Just like, if we throw enough stuff in there, it'll seem like there's a variety.
Yeah.
So anyways, but you, Mohammed, enjoy that game.
You got one more to give away, right? And Bryan, can you see the comments? Do you want to give a quick shout out once again?
Here, let me get back to the...
Oh my God, Killistel is like emptying his wallet over your face.
Here, let me get back to the...
I'll let you take the shout out, Bryan.
Thanks. Just give me a second here. I want to get my popped out chat here. I want to make sure that I can read things. Thank you very much. Killisell 7777 says no problem. Always have your back, bro. With the third donation from Killisell tonight. Jesus, dude. Thank you so very much, man.
We're not worthy.
Like we say this on Viewer Takeover, and we tell the Patreon supporters all the time that we literally can't do this without you guys. Like, the channel costs more money to run than it makes every month, because I don't work very much. I don't go to the restaurant, and so like I have very little income coming in these days. You guys, the Game Cats, the loyal supporters, are the people that are keeping this channel running. Literally could not do this without you. So we appreciate every donation. We appreciate the Patreon supporters. We appreciate every single person that contributes to this channel. So thank you guys very, very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Killisell, you're the man tonight, apparently. So thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So enough Summer Funland. Except
wait. Don't we have one more, right? Or is it two keys? Two keys.
Oh,
or one
no, not for Summer Funland. It's a different one. We're doing a PSN code later in the show.
Yeah, we'll give away a North American $20 gift card later in the show. But also, Dave, just real quick before we get off the Summer Funland topic, I know that they're bringing more of those laser mazes. Because when you finish the laser maze,
fucking kill me.
Well, because when you
hated those,
when you finish the laser mazes, after you do however many there are, like 20 of them, because the first 10 or so were fine, but then the last ones, you're like, seriously, why am I still doing these? Once you beat those, it says, more to come, to be continued, more laser mazes.
But no other part of the park says more to come.
No.
So if it's just a DLC where they add more laser mazes, you can throw that right in the garbage bin.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Like, I don't need that shit.
Have you heard? But you said something about like an extra part of the park or something.
I swear to God, somebody mentioned that there's like an extra park with some different attractions.
I hope that's the case.
That would be significant. That would be cool. If it's just more laser mazes, it's not even worth talking about.
Yeah.
I honestly do hope that Darkness Roller Coaster gets patched up and fixed.
Hasn't it already been patched like 38 times?
Yes, man? It has, but I still think it's got some ways to go.
That's got to be a record, man.
If they fix that game, it will be better than Summer Funland for sure.
I can't even talk about it.
To do.
Oh my God.
We'll see about that.
Real quick, Beard of Power says, I'd like a carpentry game. Well, they do have a cave digger game, so you may just get your wish one day.
Huh?
Nothing. I was just talking to somebody in the comments.
I'm just confused. All right, what's the next game we're going to talk about from E3?
From E3, we have Space Team VR.
I miss this one entirely.
Am I disconnected again? It says I'm disconnected from you guys.
You're back.
Okay, cool.
You're back now. Real quick, Polish Paul, your PSVR dude. He says he's got a €2 donation. Says appreciate me now. Maybe. We always appreciate you.
Wait, did he donate?
He did donate.
Oh.
And I know how cheap he is. That €2 is like $500 in Polish Paul.
Oh yeah. And also, I mean, this is just more of his shameless self-promotion. But that's...
I can't believe that donation didn't come with an advertisement. They should have
say appreciate me now.
There should have been an ad break in the middle of his donation.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm literally downloading the Space Team. So here's the thing. This one got by me completely. Somehow I did not see this during the stream. Somehow I did not hear about this later. I totally did not bring it up in any video that we made. So this is going to be the first time that I'm going to see this. I'm going to bring it up right now for everybody.
Let me know when you press play, and I'll tell you a little bit what I think it looks like and what it is.
I will tell you that I'm pushing it right now. Talk about it.
So,
right
this
now.
is a game that seems like it would already existed on flat screen game on PC, and it works similar to Star Trek Bridge Crew, in which you have a full team of people on a spaceship, but it's a little bit more like goofy and silly and
way goofier and sillier. It's like slapstick level, like crazy, silly.
There's little alien globs that can get into the spaceship, and there's all these little buttons and levers you have to like try and fix. And
you can see in the trailer here, they made a big point of talking about the facial expressions. All these guys going like wah 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 wah, woo, like these crazy faces.
Oh wow, this does look really goofy
in this video. Oh, it's super goofy. Yeah. Anyways. That was a feature, according to them, the funny faces.
But yes, it essentially like a silly. It actually has a little bit of popularity, but they seem really excited to bring it. And I think if you have a group of people, this could be like one of those Werewolves Within type games where it's kind of fun to just get a group of friends and do some silly stuff, so like Werewolves Within or Star Trek Bridge Crew more.
The thing that it weirdly reminds me of is kind of like a mixture of Bridge Crew and Surgeon Simulator, only because they said specifically there's going to be like needlessly complex instructions and a bunch of techno babble, and like you're not really supposed to know what to do, and so you're just hitting stuff with hammers.
Oh, good.
And so I feel like there's that part of it where it's sort of like you're in over your head, so you're just fucking around.
I like that element then, because like
that seems like that's part of it. So
because I think Bridge Crew can be like a little bit too much for some people, where it's like, man,
well,
if I didn't practice this ahead of time, I feel like I'm letting my team down. Whereas this
especially
can just be like
certain stations. There's that one that they changed or they added, like the engineer. I think it is what it is.
That
now.
was my favorite position, man. Because it was it was like almost like doing math or something, while everyone else is having fun.
There's so much stuff going on the version they have of it now, where it's just like, you don't even know what you're doing the first 5 times you play it.
Yeah.
And if people try to explain it, you're not going to be good at it, like while you're learning. So it seems way simpler. There's like 5 buttons on each panel. So,
yeah.
And I think they changed from each mission.
Space Shooter, the Game Cat makes he says like job simulator version of Star Trek Bridge Crew. I like that.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like kind of silly and kind of goofy.
Yeah,
for sure.
And this is based on a card game, right? I think I saw Nick Milo. He said the Space Team card game is a damn blast.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, on the next viewer takeover, which again should have been up this morning, probably be up tomorrow. Dez does talk a bit about Space Team in the card game and stuff. Again, he was talking about it. And I was like, what are you talking about? That's like
Nick in the chat is saying that he's played it before. He said it's a damn blast.
Yeah,
nice.
Nick is far cooler than any of us. He knows how to play Werewolves Within. It's like he's like, hey, I'll teach you guys how to play.
Nick's a great gamer.
Yeah.
He let Mad Cat put him in his trunk that one time.
I want to see.
That's a good point.
See more of that.
Way too interesting.
So next up, and that's never mind. Next up, we've got the Curious Tale of the Stolen Pets. Yeah. And I believe this is Fast Travel's new game,
is
right?
Apex Construct developers, this is way different looking.
Yeah, but this is also like
we have the trailer up.
Trailer's running. It's kind of a smaller it's not their entire team. It's not like the Apex Construct team is like 100% like working on this. This is a smaller kind of like side project that they had, like kind of a passion project. It looks, in my book, man, it's like I'm totally cool with, Apex Construct was such a serious game. And I feel like, to let off some steam and to try something different and experiment with like some different elements in VR, like I'm totally in favor of fast travel, like taking kind of a quick little break and doing something a little bit more goofy and a little bit more fun. This looks awesome and it's totally adorable. I can't wait to play it.
Yeah, it looks like kind of a bunch of miniature versions of the kind of stuff you'd get in, say, like a Ghost Giant, where you get these kind of interactive environment-based puzzles where you got to find the right thing that does this thing to this area, opens up something new, and then you keep going. I don't know anything about like if there's a storyline or if it's just sort of like these little worlds you play through. There is, okay.
There's a storyline. As much as I called it kind of a goofy game, a goofy little like fun adorable thing, it sounds like they were talking about something like you rediscover things about your past and about like your relationship with your sister and stuff that like like that you'd forgotten like from decades ago. It sounds like that. Okay, on the surface it might seem cute and cuddly and weird and nice or whatever, but it sounds like there might be like a kind of serious story arc going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, all I got to say about this one is it's one of those that I look at on the screen and I'm like, it seems okay. But then I know being in VR and playing it and being in that world, and it does look like it's a story-driven kind of puzzle game where you rotate the world and you kind of interact with these little like cute characters and stuff. It just seems like one of those that watching a trailer flat screen doesn't do it justice. It looks like one that would be really fun and really charming in the headset.
You know what I really hate about this trailer?
What's that?
This woman that keeps standing here.
I know. I was just gonna say, I wish they would get rid of all these things in VR trailers where they have to show a person, like say sitting on a couch having a great time, like ha ha ha.
Anytime there's somebody
or interacting with the game, like it's really silly.
Yeah, anytime they show like basically like an AR version of or a mixed reality type thing in a trailer, it drives me insane. I'm like, I don't want to see a person in the game. And I know they're doing it because they don't think people understand what VR is yet.
Yeah,
so they're doing it so.
Well, a lot of people don't, to be fair, in their defense.
But this is not helping, is what I'm saying.
I mean, that's not an accurate representation. This is not what VR is like. Look at her, she's just staring around at the. Oh, you there?
Yeah.
What is this? She's about to point at you.
Ooh, and no offense to the actress that they've got in here. Like if it's like I'm sure she's a very nice person or whatever. It just looks so ridiculous whenever they do this stuff. I wish it'd stop.
She's probably an intern.
Maybe it's possible. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I don't think we need to spend too much more time on this. This could very well be the crap. I don't know why I start sentences. I don't know how I'm going to end.
Yeah, it reminds me of like a mixture of like Fisherman's Tale and Squishies or something.
Fisherman's Tale. I'm glad you finished my sentence because that's what I was thinking. Yeah, absolutely. Did you say Squishies?
He said Squishies.
Get the fuck out of here.
In the word,
we don't say that word in here, AJ.
Yeah.
But so you want to move on to the next one? You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So
let's do it.
we're going to talk about probably the developer that stole the show the most for me, besides the Aspire 1. And we're going to talk about Survios for a little bit, who actually featured 2 different games.
Let's start with Battle Wake if we can.
Absolutely. And I actually have some great information on Battle Wake that I am so excited to share because this is my other most anticipated game from E3 besides Aspire 1. So I got a little bit more information about them. They do say that there's going to be upgradable weapons in it, and there's about 13 different weapons to choose from. Nice. They said they've implemented the fluid locomotion, which is so strange sounding, but there's going to be fluid locomotion for the controls to control these boats. If anybody that played Sprint Vector, personally, Sprint Vector is probably my favorite, most creative way to create controls in with using the moves. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. I thought it was the best use of the best use of the Move controllers. So they're going to kind of mix that a little bit in with rowing the boats, shooting, stuff like that. There's going to be ultimates and abilities, including ancient magics and ultimate attacks like casting a tsunami, casting storms, and even literally releasing the Kraken. So there's also going to be different game modes. There's a single player PvE mode. There's going to be co-op multiplayer up to 4 players. And then there's going to be a PvP mode. So honestly, what really has me excited about this game is the co-op. I'm just really excited to jump into this game. I really, really wanted a pirate game for VR, and this is going to be probably the definitive pirate game that we're going to get. Where there's some games that I didn't really care for on flat screen, but in VR I absolutely love, and this seems like one of them. The amount of polish that it has. There's also going to be water, like crazy water physics. So when you're steering around, if something makes a wave, you're going to feel that wave. But they've also mentioned that they've done things to counteract motion sickness. And then finally, I just got to add that we are expecting this, besides the open beta that should be happening pretty soon, or closed beta, I mean, it's going to be set to release during the summer.
Awesome. There's not much summer left. I mean, there's, 2-3 months?
Summer hasn't started yet.
But this
hasn't it?
This is.
It feels like it. In Florida, it's definitely started.
We're like 15, 20
It's like
days
100
away.
degrees every day.
Yeah,
so I feel like
end
summer
of
started.
June, I think. It's June 20 something. So yeah, we've got a full. So anytime we talk about like No Man's Sky and stuff having a June, a fucking summer 2019 release date, it's sometime in the next 3 months, man. So it's like anything that says summer 2019 is very, very soon. Very exciting.
This is one of my most anticipated games now. Please tell me what you guys think about this game.
So that thing you were talking about, I didn't realize this, where you said they're adopting the sprint vector style movement, and that at first sounds really weird, but then when you think about it being a boat, like you got to row the oars on the boat, right? So I think in a certain way it might actually feel right, and I'm sure they wouldn't have used it if it didn't feel right, because they've always had pretty good locomotion systems, I feel like, especially sprint vector. Creed, I don't know if I loved as much, but it was still a unique take on getting around. You know what I mean? And that stuff works with the Move controllers, so you don't have to worry about the analog sticks.
Creed should not have had that movement scheme. That
was weird.
That was the one thing I didn't like. Even the advanced movement where you do the kind of like the California racing thing. I was like, this is silly, man. Why aren't we just moving around nice and easy? But yeah, no, I will say, I mean, I know it's not the same type of boat, but Catch and Release had the whole move rowing mechanic, and it wasn't perfect, but it worked really well. On a boat this size, a ship this size, hopefully we're the captains, and we don't actually have to row the boat. We just tell our crew to do it for us. But whatever. I'm cool.
I mean, it would be odd to be a game where you're playing big pirate ship and you get as tired as you do playing sprint vector, just going like this the whole time, like I'm rowing a boat, oh, I gotta shoot this guy,
right?
Like, I don't think it'll be like that exactly. I guess we'll see how they implement it, but
I'm
excited.
You're supposed to mix in like the movement. You're going to be able to cast magic and stuff from the boat itself, shoot guns, all sorts of stuff, and then on top of all this, it looks polished as hell. Environments are going to be really detailed, really colorful. So I cannot stress how much I am hyped for this game.
And then the other game they announced.
Wait. I'm not.
No, we're not done. We're not done.
Don't leave Battle Week yet. So something that we did kind of gloss over a little bit was obviously this kind of game is like custom designed for multiplayer, and I'm really glad they included a ton of multiplayer modes for it. But man, like, the first thing I want to do with this game before I even like jump online and play with you guys and the rest of the cats is I want to sit there, man, on my couch and just play the single player campaign. Like I want to spend hours and hours and hours like just seeing what they have for the single player campaign. Like, is it just taking on like bots? Is it like this big story narrative? Like what are we doing in the single player campaign? That's what I'm most intrigued about. I know that Servios so far hasn't really been, a single player campaign, a big narrative based.
Yeah, I mean, Creed, they sort of did that, but it was essentially just repeating stuff from an existing movie that they didn't have to write or script.
and Raw Data did it well, but only because the voiceovers were so well done, and they told the story that way. But there wasn't really like these big cinematic cutscenes or anything like that. So I'm very, very curious to see what they do. They're pumping out games so quickly. But so far they've all been really polished that like I'm getting nervous because like they've done so well so far. I just don't want it to implode on them. So
No,
yeah,
I just looking at it, I get where you're coming from. They're gonna have to mess up before they get any sort of doubt from me, because right now they are completely cleared. The only thing that they really didn't impress me with was the multiplayer for Creed. However, the single player campaign was excellent on there, but the multiplayer and some of the mechanics in that I wasn't too crazy about. But everything else they've done, even the games that I have no interest in. That was really loud.
Wait, you guys could hear that? I was muted.
No,
we heard
I could
it.
hear that.
That's so weird. I was definitely muted. Hold on. Let's try this.
Okay, you're good. I was like,
Okay. Yeah, no, I definitely was on mute.
Nice. Yeah, you guys get in the beta. But yeah, I'm really excited. So the other game that they showed off.
the other game. I swear I'm getting
Be
there.
careful about the trailer.
Yeah.
Be careful about the trailer.
No, I got the right one.
Okay. Is The Walking Dead Onslaught. And, they first showed it, and they didn't have the E3 logo. I mean, the PlayStation 4 logo. And I was like, just give it time. This is Servios.
Yeah.
They always say PC first. And then, bam, later that day on Kind of Funny. And did you hear their explanation for it, for why it wasn't shown?
No.
They said something about like AMC and like the way they're like hardcore about their copyrights. So they like completely.
No, that's why that's why they didn't show the original trailer. Remember the original trailer
Right.
that was dropped? Yeah, and so
Right.
I actually the same thing happened to me. I think on a PSVR this week I tried to show the original cinematic trailer. And not only does AMC get like super crazy hardcore about their copyrights, to where they're like, it's not like they want the money for us showing it. They just blocked our video in all countries. Like literally I published it and then 263 countries couldn't see it. And I was like, oh, okay, so I have to like literally delete this video, re-edit it, re-render it, re-upload it because AMC's a fucking piece of shit. So thanks AMC for really. I mean, come on, you don't want us to promote your fucking game? Do you not understand how copyright works? Do you not understand how YouTube works and how like this is free promotion? Yeah, fucking get over your fucking selves. Obviously, Servios understands how it works, and we're really happy about that. But yeah, it's good. It's nice to see when Kind of Funny can't get around that shit. Because if we can't get around it and Kind of Funny can't get around it, no one can get around it. So that's all. Also, this game looks fucking ridiculous, man. Like, it says pre-alpha footage, and I'm really glad that it says that on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, that's the thing. We talked about how nice Battle Wake looks.
Yeah.
And comparatively, this is just like, it seems like not even the same developer. It looks like Arizona Sunshine. It looks like not that polished at all. So hopefully they can bring this a long way, because that's a big franchise, and Servios is a huge kind of like heavyweight VR dev. I feel like they've had a great track record, so I expect them to do something cool. But at the same time, from what I've seen, I'm not excited to play that version of the game.
Yeah, I can only assume
great.
I can only assume that it's gonna get a lot better. But the problem is with this trailer is they show two different things. They show you're shooting a gun, and then they show sometimes you grab them and like kill them with a melee attack, right? And but that's it. It's like there's no way that this game is just that.
Well, so if it's not in any way like narrative, like from what they showed, it looks like a wave shooter, maybe cooperative wave shooter, but still a wave shooter. And there wasn't anything to me that screamed, "This is The Walking Dead." It just seemed like a zombie killing game.
True.
There wasn't anything like iconically Walking Dead about it, other than I know you get to use certain weapons that are in the story. Like I'm sure you'll get Daryl's crossbow and probably Michonne's sword and like stuff like that. But beyond those little fan service things, I just hope it's not slapping a Walking Dead logo onto a generic zombie game. Because that's what it kind of looks like right now. So hopefully there is some storyline
so far,
that ties into the Walking Dead universe, and just gives it a reason to exist when there's already Arizona Sunshine and all these other games out there. So we'll see.
right.
I love Servios, so I think they'll do a good job, but I'm not sold yet.
Yeah, no, I have total faith that they're gonna bring this thing to where it needs to be. Is it fall 2019? Obviously, that's not that far away. But obviously, like these guys don't require like the biggest dev cycles ever. Like the PSVR is like 2.5 years old, and they've already brought us raw data, Electronauts, Sprint Vector, Creed, and then Battle Wake is almost there, and then this game's coming out. So that basically within the course of 3 years, they're bringing us 6 games. So
it's ridiculous.
And
also, if you guys haven't seen this, the lead, I think he's like the CEO of Servios, this guy Nathan Burba.
Yep.
He's one of the head guys up there. There was this footage or this picture going around of somebody testing super early VR prototypes that were just like some hacked together stuff using PS3 Move controllers, actually, where it was like a laptop and a backpack and all this shit taped together on his face. And that was him. That's Nathan Burba. So he's been experimenting with VR since before anybody was even thinking about, Oculus and PSVR and all this shit. Like, he's been in it for long enough. So I think they have a really strong pedigree as far as devs go. Like, they've been around forever. So,
all right, I want to shed my 2 cents on this real quick. I've played a different AMC game, Walking Dead game, and it was the Walking Dead arcade game. And it had you using a crossbow, just going around. It was a rail shooter, shooting zombies. And I got to say, that was the most fun arcade game I've played in probably 15 years. Most arcade games these days are awful. Okay. They are like, they feel like cheap little scams to steal your quarters. They make it extremely difficult and unfair. And this one was the only game that was really fun. So in terms of them using that license as a game and a shooter and stuff like that, I'm a little optimistic for that they actually kind of care a little bit. And plus, the Walking Dead Telltale games are really popular. So they have a pretty good history behind these Walking Dead games. And then finally, the other info that I can say about this is, they mentioned during the E3 trailer that they put a lot of effort into the physics, kind of like Killing Floor, how you can stab zombies in the head, you can scalp them, you can behead them, chop off their arms, you can shoot them and their limbs or whatever.
It even looked more granular than that. Like, you could actually slice the side of a guy's face off. Like, there's a whole physics engine there that keeps the head, and you can just cut up. Crazy in RNA.
Yeah, I couldn't catch all that, Dave, but I know what you mean. Should have paid his damn internet bill.
And this is one of our better streams, if you can imagine.
Yeah, but yeah, and the other thing I've got to add is, besides those physics, which I think sound amazing, that was something I really enjoyed in Killing Floor, is it does have a player progression system. It has a campaign as well. So, and then a fall release.
And what? Sorry, are we still talking about Walking Dead?
Walking Dead. Yep.
Excellent. That sounds good, man. They're saying all the right things. Like, obviously we can only, make opinions based on what we've seen so far, and that's fine. That's what we have to do as gamers and people who speculate as things on upcoming games. Until we get to sit there and play it for ourselves, until we play the final product, all we can do is say, hey, this is what they've chosen to show us, and this is what we speculate on. Servios, I have the utmost faith that they're going to deliver 2 amazing games this year.
They are definitely one of my favorite developers, if not my favorite, and it's just because of, like you said, how many years? 2 years, 3. It'll be 6
games in 3 years.
Yeah, that is amazing. 6 quality games too, right. Hopefully, and that is impressive. That's something that they're way ahead of every other developer right now in terms of releasing games and content and stuff like that. I'm a huge Sprint Vector fan. That's one of my favorites. So. Really,
although
really
strangely didn't make the top 20 list.
Oh, we tried. Star Trek beat Sprint Vector by 1 vote. 1 vote.
Oh, is that how that panned out?
Yep, 1 vote. That was it.
If I was to go back and do the top 20 list over, A, it would be dramatically different.
Yeah,
and
it will be.
And B, Sprint Vector would beat out Bridge Crew.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So look forward to the next top 20 list, everybody. That should be in about 2 months from now. We'll do that, and you
It's
guys
gonna
can all be
ruffle some feathers for
and
sure.
and you can all be part of the conversation. I'll help make the list again.
Yep.
All right. And while we wait for Dave to come back, what are we going to talk about next?
Next, we have a game coming out in the summer called Akron: Attack of the Squirrels.
Now, this was eventually confirmed for PSVR.
It says coming there. This is one of the ones that was said to be coming to all major VR platforms. So it's possible that it doesn't come to PSVR, but it's very likely that it does. Okay. And it's basically, it's kind of a strange one. It seems kind of fun, like a mini game kind of deal, and they're basically it's going to work with mobile. So one person's going to play with the VR headset. One person can play with the mobile phone, and essentially the person on the mobile is going to control the squirrel, who has to basically run up to the tree, which is the person in the VR headset, and grab the acorns, bring it back, and score. It's like a capture the flag kind of deal. And, it doesn't look like, it looks like something that's fun. I don't know what kind of longevity it has or how many more modes. We don't really have any more info, but it looks like it could be a little bit of fun.
What are your thoughts about like local multiplayer games in VR?
I like online multiplayer games in VR a lot because you get more people. There's multiplayer in VR is amazing because when you play with somebody online, you sit there and you see them in person. I mean, I've played with people in Brazil, in Japan, and all over the world.
USSR.
Even though they're on the other side of the world, there they are right there next to me, looking at me and talking to me. And to me, that's amazing. I'm not a big fan of local multiplayer. Just not the biggest fan.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man.
What about Diablo? There's so many great local co-op games.
VR.
Couch co-op.
In
VR.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us, Dave. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Well, what if Diablo was in VR? Shut up. No.
If Diablo was in VR, you'd never see me again.
Yeah.
Same, dude. Yeah.
Or you
That's
just see
why
me.
You never saw me.
Or you just see me streaming nonstop.
Yeah. No, that is one thing. I'm hoping. Heard some rumors about Blizzard maybe bringing something to VR, but nothing yet.
Yeah, lots of rumors, nothing real.
Nothing concrete. But yeah, Prada was like my Diablo before the server shut down.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, I know before the stream, AJ and I were talking. Actually, we've been talking for the last couple of days about trying to get this going, and I'm curious to know in the chat what you guys think of us doing this. But we really want to test out the Immortal Legacy patch, and now that it has rudder support, like I kind of want to like force myself to play through the whole game with rudder support, like just because like I've played I haven't been the biggest rudder supporter, but I want to give a game that I absolutely love, the full rudder treatment, and so we're thinking about after this show, AJ and I playing and streaming. He's on PSN Underground. He'll stream it on his channel, and I'll do it over here on Without Parole. And we're basically just gonna like blast through the game. He'll do it with like the new control scheme. I'll do it with the 3D rudder. And I don't know if it'll be a race. I feel like maybe we should race and see who can blast through it faster.
I think you're gonna get your ass kicked, probably.
You think I'm gonna get my ass kicked?
Yeah, dude. This guy's good at games. Fun. Don't you hear?
No,
He's
this is
games,
true.
Man.
It's true. But like I've played through it twice. So I'm like fairly confident in my Immortal Legacy abilities. But AJ did the guide, and so I think my biggest downfall will be acclimating to the 3D rudder. I think it's going to take me like an hour.
Accustomed. This guy only took 10 minutes to get accustomed to the original control scheme.
Yeah,
apparently. So,
but I think we might be doing that after this is over. So and so if anybody wants to watch us like co-stream on two separate channels. I still don't have my OBS streaming up and running. That was my plan for this week, and I haven't.
Yeah.
So if you guys want a nice looking 1080p 60 frame stream, go check out PSVR Underground.
That's right, exactly. But if you just want to watch me play in 720/30, using a 3D rudder, you can stay right here. All right.
So you got to get the foot cam going. You got to get a little camera on your feet.
See, we were talking about that, and
I think it's silly. I don't think it adds much.
Yeah, I'm like, I think if you guys know what the 3D rudder is, you can just know that I'm using it, and that's good enough. But yeah, no, like, I do want to get the OBS stream up and running, because like I want people to see, me swinging my arms and doing stupid things with the Move controllers, and I also want the stream to look better than it does when you just push the stupid share button. Eventually,
sure.
we'll get there. My biggest hurdle is the chat. Like I want to be able to read the chat, and like having to listen to the chat is really difficult for me.
It's actually not that hard once you get it set up right and you have the right tool for it. Like, I think speech chat works great. AJ, what do you use? You use speech chat?
Text to speech.
Yeah. It's for me. It's just like it's just nonstop, because it's like the comments just flood through, and it's like one after another, and I'm responding to one, and another one's being said in my ear, and I was like, this is really difficult to do.
And if anybody starts to go wild on emojis, you're going to be hearing that shit for the rest of your life. AJ knows this. When he was playing Zing, we kept spamming him with like, and it's just like it's like Caucasian praying hands, brown skinned praying hands.
I will say,
church steeple. It is fun, yeah. As
annoying as it is, it cracks me up. I mean, yeah, you were doing the most random things. Will was doing like 300 emoji tears of joy.
And it would just go. You could hear it in his headset. It was going tears of joy, 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 tears of joy. We drove him probably half mad. That's why he is the way he is right now.
Wow. All right.
No, that was way before you guys. Don't worry.
Holy crap! We are so not even through this at all.
Let's talk about E3.
Yeah, let's get moving.
Okay, What's next we have the Wizards Dark Times. So,
can I lead on this one? I got some thoughts.
Please.
Okay, so this is a trailer that when I saw the ending that said it was Wizards, I was very, very surprised, because it looks like it has literally nothing to do with Wizards in terms of what they showed here. It's much darker. It's much more nuanced animation and stuff, but it's also got no gameplay footage in it at all.
Right.
So the thing to me is that with this big, dark, spooky kind of intriguing cinematic thing, that's one thing, but what is the game? Like, there is no indicator of, is this going to be like a super advanced version of it? Because if it's a sequel to the Wizards or DLC for the Wizards, I was not really sold or blown away by Wizards on PSVR.
I don't think many people were.
It didn't do that much for me. So if it's unless there's like major gameplay tweaks or like big upgrades to just the concept of it, like looks like a campaign-driven game from the trailer, right?
Yeah.
It's all this, story, and there's like a little woman who's spooky and all this stuff.
Spooky.
Nothing about gameplay. So it gets you this idea in your head that, oh, this is a narrative experience, which is what people thought about Wizards until they played it, and then they realized this is a wave shooter.
Right.
This is a fucking wave shooter. And so if it's the same thing, but they're still slapping a narrative sheen on it, I don't know if I'm excited. But it's hard to say from what they showed, because it really has nothing to do with what the final product is going to be, because we haven't seen the final product. We've just seen a cool cinematic that I was surprised was even associated with the Wizards in any way when they showed that at the end. So that's my thoughts on it.
I'm 100% with you. Like, basically this to me looks like Carbon Studio listened to all the feedback, and like, this is again pure speculation based on the very limited amount of stuff that they've shown. It looks like Carbon Studio listened to all the feedback. They said, hey, the Wizards didn't really succeed as a wave shooter, but we had some good mechanics in there. Let's create a narrative driven like DLC pack. If this is a DLC pack, even like then
it's a standalone expansion.
I think it's an expansion. It's not a sequel. It's not a new game. It's an
standalone expansion.
That is weird. I don't know how I feel about standalone. What does that even mean?
It's like it's DLC that doesn't require the original game.
Is there a precedent for that? What is a standalone?
A standalone expansion. Think of like the best example I could think of going a little ways back was like how Infamous Festival of Blood.
Yeah,
that's a standalone expansion. How it kind of it takes the same universe, but then creates another little.
It's like a side story.
Right.
You could have gone this generation and said Infamous First Light. I mean,
yeah. Or there's also like that Travis Strikes Again or whatever. Isn't that like a spin-off of the No More Heroes on Switch?
Yeah, but that's a spin-off. Like it's a separate game. Like I wouldn't.
I guess it's not standalone expansion. It's a totally different style.
Right.
Bad example. Continue.
But yeah, actually, Polish Paul here says that
Why do we keep doing this?
because he's giving us good.
He's
info.
got the freshest news in the village. Didn't you hear?
He's bringing some fresh shit into the chat.
Yeah, he always does.
What is the
It's,
meaning? What is the message?
He says the release date is next year. Same environments, but in a different era.
Oh, same environments. Get the fuck out of here.
But-
I'm not
A different
excited
era, so
about
it's
that.
going to be.
But that's
it's
what
gonna
makes
be
it
dark.
That's what makes it. That's what makes it standalone DLC, because as we were saying with Infamous, it reuses the same. It reuses
Right.
the same environments.
It's
and
going to be darker though.
What
Right.
it sounds to me
Darker.
like is they're going to charge a full game price for a game that reuses the same assets.
But they're not going to charge a full
But
game
it's
price.
not a sequel.
They're
You
pro-
don't
Right.
think it?
No.
Okay.
I think
Fair,
I
fair.
think they're probably going to charge like $15 for this thing, and
I'll
What's
tell
the
you-
regular game? $20?
30?
$30?
25.
25, thank
so
you.
they're charging
25.
10 less.
Yeah, 25.
Okay.
I'll tell you what could make me really like this game is if they actually deliver some kind of story. The one thing that really let me down, obviously, there's a couple things, but the biggest thing that let me down with the Wizards was no story. So they keep leading like there's some story that's going to happen, and then there's no story. So this one was all CGI trailer. And was like, there's dark times happening and stuff. But if there's no story, then it's like all this is
Spooky.
pointless.
Well, the other thing too is if they don't retool the enemies and redo the AI and all this stuff and just the way it feels to fight people, it's not going to be much better, because even if there's a story that's this epic, awesome narrative, and then you get into the game and you fight a boss who's just a giant dumb ogre who like doesn't even face you, and you hit him with a couple fireballs and then he just falls over and he's dead. Like the boss fights were unsatisfying to me from what I played, and the combat
totally.
mechanics only made sense in terms of like dispensing of individual enemies. Like, oh, let me use my cool spell to kill this guy and then move to the next guy. But when you get into a longer fight, they didn't really have any good way to make those bosses like entertaining or challenging or exciting to interact with. And most of the enemies are just dumb, like magic sponges. They just walk towards you sort of like this, and if they get too close they hit you. So a lot of VR games have that issue. Of course, it's not just Wizards, but if they're proposing it as like something that's expanded or better than the original, I would like to see something there too, because the story is great, but if it's not fun to play, I'm still not sold.
Did you guys watch non-VR E3 press conferences?
yeah,
I watched
somewhat.
a little bit of them. Yeah, Ubisoft and well, I guess Nintendo was a direct.
Isn't it
E3.
Ubisoft? Didn't I get a bunch of
Ubisoft.
crap?
It's
Ubisoft. I think it's Ubisoft.
It stands for ubiquitous soft. So yeah, Ubisoft. But no, it's like there was on the Bethesda live stream. I watched all of E3 as if like I
I
cared.
saw Bethesda too, actually. Yeah.
Bethesda, so the new Tango GameWorks game from the Evil Within developers is called Ghostwire Tokyo, and
That looks so good.
it looks so good, but man, I can't get it out of my head. This little Japanese girl that they had like doing her best speaking English to introduce it. She was like adorable, and she was like, "We're making a new kind of game. It's spooky." and I can't get
Is
that.
that why you keep saying that? I've heard you say that, like mumble that like 4 times already.
Spooky.
It's
Yeah,
spooky. I love her. I love
won the
her.
internet. Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody loves. She won the internet that day for sure.
She was my
Dude,
favorite part of that stream.
Did you know that she
That's-
did artwork for like Okami and Bayonetta and stuff?
Really?
I
That's
didn't know
awesome.
that.
Yeah, if you look at her credentials and stuff, it's pretty impressive.
Nice.
So that was actually a really good segue, because we are ostensibly talking about E3 stuff that is VR. They showed off a little teensy bit of Wolfenstein Cyberpilot. It's not much more than we've seen before, and they didn't really go in depth. They were sort of like, this game exists, guys. It is coming.
Right.
And did they confirm the July release date?
yeah.
yeah, it's
they
already
did.
been up
Okay.
for pre-order for a while.
That's what I figured, but I figured making sure. So, not really any new info there, though. It looks cool
No,
to
no.
me. I think that they've never made a bad Wolfenstein game that I
No.
know of.
No.
So I don't expect them to start now. And people
No.
have their
It'll be
opinions
fun.
on Doom VFR, but it's still a great Doom game as far as I'm
Sure.
concerned. I think Doom VFR is great fun if you like Doom, and it's awesome in VR. So I think I expect about the same level of product
Yeah,
there,
it's-
which should be cool, like a side story. not a full campaign.
The only
It's
thing we
pretty
need
cool.
to know really is just like the length of the campaign of it. But yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
read some impressions from E3 that played it, and they basically said, yeah, it feels like a Wolfenstein. It sounds completely different, but it still feels like Wolfenstein.
That's all I need,
in
man.
VR, and that's all I need as well.
I mean, but
And those are recent, right? Recent, like this E3 impressions.
This
Because
E3.
I've heard people play in the past, had demo sessions at other gaming conferences, and said they
And the
weren't
game was
impressed.
completely different. Yeah.
And a lot of people felt the same way about Blood and Truth also.
That's
Not to
true.
say it's going to be as good as Blood and Truth, but it could be pretty good.
But I'm going to bring up the trailer. I didn't think we were going to talk about it very long, but I'm going to bring up the trailer. Jesus, nothing about this looks interesting to me other than the setting, right? It's like the environment looks nice, but man, it just looks like you're in this, this mech of some kind, and you're just shooting a bunch of stuff. Like,
Well, I mean, in a first-person shooter like Wolfenstein, you're just a guy who isn't even in a mech shooting stuff. So how is it less exciting than that?
I mean, I thought the last, so I didn't play the New Order or whatever it was. I just played whatever the first relaunch of Wolfenstein was.
Right. Those were awesome. Those
Like
were
last
really
gen, you're talking about PS3.
Was
like
it-
came out on PS3?
Was it PS3? Whatever.
Yeah, it did.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like that really like infused like an amazing story and stuff, and you were BJ Blazkowicz, but like then you ended up in like this hospital and this nurse took care of you, and then like I was like this is not Wolfenstein, but this is really really good. I just don't know like if they can duplicate something like that and make me care about make me care in the same way.
They did a great job with the most recent one. I think the storytelling in that one is really, really top quality. Like, I loved the most recent Wolfenstein, and Youngblood looks about the same level of quality too. I don't imagine they'd throw some bullshit into this just because it's VR. I think they're still going to maintain that level of quality
I hope
that
so.
comes with Wolfenstein, because you can't release a Wolfenstein branded product that doesn't somehow fit into that overall like feeling of playing a Wolfenstein game. You know what I mean?
This sounds dumb, man, but like I know when sometimes I get nervous when I see a $20 price tag on something that like, for a Wolfenstein game you'd be like,
Is it only 20?
yeah.
Really? I thought it was 30.
I mean,
I'm wrong about that?
I'm like 90% sure, but I've been wrong about lots of things.
I thought it was the
constantly.
same as Doom VFR, which was 25 or 30, right?
Are you checking into this, or do I need to look it up?
I'll look it up. I can look it up.
It's just something about it weirds me out. Where I'm like, oh, a $20 Wolfenstein game that looks like a wave shooter. I was like, it might be a $20 Wolfenstein game that's a wave shooter, like a new Wolfenstein VR experience. I'm like, I don't.
It is $20. You're right. It's only $20.
And
In my mind, I hope that just means it's short, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if it's shorter than Doom, but it's $20, but it's a great fun game to play, I will not be disappointed in any way.
Yeah, the last thing I ever want to do is criticize a game because it has a low price point. I'm like, oh, it's a great value. How dare they?
No,
But
we learned the hard way this year that $20 usually means something, and it's not just what we want most of the time.
yeah, so I'm curious. Again, like Bethesda very very rarely steers us wrong. So I'm curious to see, especially us VR gamers, because
And it's good that they have. I feel like they're one of the few companies that has a commitment to bring like their existing big name intellectual properties to VR. Like Doom. Doom is huge. Having a Doom VR game.
Skyrim. Holy shit, right?
Yeah, exactly. Skyrim. Like they are dedicated enough to bring games that are hugely popular already into VR, which a lot of people don't want to take a chance on right now.
This is the
So
cool thing.
kudos
is
to
that
them for that.
They're an established developer. They have the budget to throw some good stuff in there. So that's the upside, is that this is Bethesda, and
Yeah.
they are an established company. They're a big company. So that's actually going to help a lot in this situation versus an indie developer.
Yeah, and I think it probably helps that like John Carmack, one of the guys who created Doom, is a huge part of VR at this point. Like, he's so involved at Oculus. He's like their chief technology officer or something like that. And he's always commenting with these like really deep dives, like super specific tech specs on VR stuff. So like, when you've got a guy like that invested, the companies associated with them maybe take a swing on it,
Let's keep this moving. What's
Okay. Let's kind of skip through these next three because we've already talked about them like a few times already. unless you really want to go in depth, but I really don't have much to add.
Well, give me
First
let's
one.
give me one at a time. What do you got?
What are they?
Doctor Who: The Edge of Time.
I don't know anything about Doctor Who. I can't say anything.
Well,
they said it was a feature-length game, which is not the same as a full-length game. I think that means it's like a movie.
A movie feature length?
Feature length to me means it's 2 hours.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I wouldn't expect a whole lot more out of a tie-in like that, like a Doctor Who game. It seems like it's going to be fan service and some slight puzzling, grabbing items. Yeah.
Yeah, the stuff that we've seen so far has been I'm sorry to cut you off, but you were chopping out, Dave. But yeah, the stuff we've seen so far has been very, very minimal, and even the stuff that we've seen from E3 specifically, which I'm actually downloading right now instead of the cinematic trailer, looks very, very minimal. There's full locomotion and stuff, but it does very much seem like I don't want to say escape room style thing, but it is very much here you are, you're in this, and there's some objects to interact with. Okay, now move along.
You're supposed to be able to control the TARDIS and do some stuff. I think what I'm looking for.
So does that mean anything to you, controlling the TARDIS? Does that mean anything? Like, I don't know what controlling the TARDIS does.
I don't know what that implies in the game.
Some people know.
No. But I think you're going to maybe time travel a little bit or something, or travel around. So
here we go. I've got the thing from the Upload VR thing playing right now, and it is very much like, I mean, kind of what you'd expect from a Doctor Who experience, like from any kind of other movie or TV experience, where it's like, here's an environment, pick stuff up,
sorting
put
potatoes.
it down.
Are you going to sort potatoes?
I mean, it's not. I mean, I know, like, we don't want to compare anything to Martian VR if we don't have to, but man, it doesn't seem like horribly far off from that. It's sort of like, just I don't. Maybe this resonates with Doctor Who fans more, like, because I've never really gotten into the series, and like I'd love to, because it sounds like it's something I'd enjoy, but like there doesn't seem to be very much here that would get me excited, and I can't imagine.
I think the only thing that would be more exciting in this case for Doctor Who fans, as opposed to like a Martian VR experience, is like, even if the mechanics aren't that great, the Martian VR was retelling a movie you already saw. It was just like, oh, this is the part where you get to sort the potatoes, but you've already seen him.
That's right.
You've seen him do that in the movie already. So this is a standalone story in that universe. So it's entirely new fiction. So if you're really into Doctor Who, I feel like even if the game's clunky and it doesn't work that great, you might still get that little hit of like fandom. So we'll see. I mean, I have no clue about that, but
yeah. I'm curious. Hopefully, there's some Doctor Who fans in the chat that can maybe steer us in the right direction.
There are lots of Doctor Who fans that are cautiously optimistic, but they are very hyped. And they do say that they expect maybe some time travel, like controlling time. So I think what I got from it is that I really liked, the time travel stuff. I've always been a fan of that, and B, some of it looked kind of eerie, like kind of creepy, something. So I was digging that as well. And of course, there's lots of mystery stuff like that, detective work maybe. So we'll see what happens.
All right. So what's the next one that we're not going to talk about very long?
Budget cuts.
Oh,
yeah.
I have some stuff to say about this one, actually.
Please.
So I think this game looks like a ton of fun. I've always been really excited and hoped that they brought it to PSVR, and I'm glad they are. I'm just a little worried because I've never played a game on PSVR where there was a throwing mechanic that I could get to work the way I wanted it to.
Interesting.
Like throwing is the one thing with the move controllers that a lot of time I just can't get. Like Super Hot, I can't throw things the right way in Super Hot. And pretty much any game that requires you to grab and like accurately toss, I'm just terrible with it. It's game. Pretty much for the most part. The reason I say PSVR specifically is because when I played Super Hot on the Quest, I could throw perfectly because the controllers are designed a little bit more to take into account like grasping something and then letting it go in a kind of a full hand way. I think that's what it is. But anyways, I'm not getting into a Quest discussion here.
I will say 2MD VR Football would like to disagree with this statement.
Well, no, okay, that's throwing a thing like this with a lot of force behind it. I'm talking about throwing an object at a precise location in front of you like that.
Okay.
And I haven't really seen a game that does that super well. So I just hope they have a really good implementation for the throwing mechanics, because the whole game is throwing knives at people. and I've never had a great throwing a knife experience in VR.
What about
on PSVR.
What about Death in Death? I feel like you're constantly throwing that thing to
I
teleport.
played on the DualShock 4, man.
So you weren't.
I played on the DualShock 4.
So one of the ways to move around in that game, the initial teleport mechanic, was to take the whatever it is, I forget what it is now, and you just toss it around, and like I always had no problem.
Well, yeah, but in that case, there's no need for precision. Like if it lands in the general area of where you want it to go, you're fine. You just move over to that area. With this, you got to hit a guy directly in the eyeball right here.
All right, I'll give you that.
It's got to be accurate. So I think accuracy in throwing in VR is something that most games haven't nailed yet.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to say specifically that is the move controllers, because like there could be an implementation that works that I haven't seen yet.
It's not the move controllers. A lot of devs have a hard time. The way Superhot is designed to throw stuff is the reason you can't throw it how you want to is because it's designed to like push stuff. Like when you have an object, you push it.
So, but when you say that and you say it's not because of the move controllers, having played it on Quest, that's not how it works. I grab something and I toss it like I would in real life. And it's
but
not
I said
like
that's how it's designed. I said that's how it's coded.
But I think they redesigned it for Quest, which makes me wonder if there is some difficulty in actually getting that to work the way you want it to.
Probably.
Because,
it doesn't work in every game. There are games that it does work though, but that's not the move's fault. That's the designer's fault. Look, just like
that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping that they have a good enough solution to get around the inherent issues in VR that most developers have with coding throwing something.
I'm going to say there's probably some serious aim assist going on here. Like when you throw something in the general direction of trying to hit these things in the eye, then you're going to hit it in the eye. Like the last thing you want is like for frustrating combat in a game that isn't terribly about combat. It's not. It looks more about the navigation. It seems to be like the
stealth,
the focus.
Getting around. And one cool thing is that you can use that little. It's like kind of a Portal vibe a little bit, because you can throw a thing down that will teleport you, but you can also look through it before you go there.
Right.
So you can scope out the area, see if there's any guys creeping around, and like wait for the right time, and then teleport over. And I think that looks like a really fun mechanic, and people love it on PC. So.
And the other thing about this is that they teamed up with Nice Corporation, teamed up with Fast Travel Games to make Budget Cuts 2.
Neat Corporation.
Right. Teamed up with to make the second one. Now, obviously, it wasn't announced for PSVR because we haven't even gotten the first one. But the fact is that like I feel like if we're getting the first one, I think it won't be long until we get the second one, which is cool. It's good to know that this one sold well enough to get a sequel. And hopefully,
I think that'll be a really good matchup too, because you can see from the trailer for the second one that they've got those bow and arrow mechanics, and it's almost like you copied and pasted the ability to do Apex Construct stuff into Budget Cuts, because he still has the knives, but then he can shoot them like a bow.
Yeah.
But they said a lot of things in their presentation about how they really liked the narrative focus of Apex Construct and how they went through that world, and there's definitely a story, driving Apex Construct, which is cool. And I think the first Budget Cuts is less like that, and they wanted to incorporate more. So the second one should be pretty awesome from what I've seen so far. I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Budget Cuts to be kind of like Red Matter in terms, not like gameplay wise or anything, but in terms of like a really popular PC game that people are like really excited about, and then it's kind of under the radar, and then you play it and you're like, holy shit, this is actually really good.
Yeah.
Was Red Matter like super well received on PC?
Really well received on PC.
That's awesome.
And nobody had any idea about it. It did a stealth release on PSVR, and then I played it and I'm like, this is like could be considered one of the best PSVR games in a way.
Is Jeremy still playing that? Jeremy is still playing that.
Who knows? Who pays attention? Yeah. According to the titles of the videos as he plays them, he's been playing Resident Evil 7 the last 2 weeks.
This is the firch week he's actually played Red Matter.
Yeah. All right.
So next, hopefully we get Budget Cuts 2 right after the Apex mesh up. Next we have Angry Birds 2.
So this is Angry Birds. It's like is it Angry Birds the
Angry
movie
Birds
or something?
The movie 2. Yeah. It's Angry Birds the movie 2.
I'm going to have to download this.
This game was really popular in terms of maybe not online, But in terms of sales, like this game is still showing up in like the top 10 most downloaded each month. So obviously Angry Birds is a huge franchise that, started on mobile, got really popular. And but I will say that this one has co-op that they showed in the trailer, and it actually looks kind of decent.
It looks different, like a lot different from the implement. I didn't see anybody shooting a slingshot like with their hands or anything like that. Because that is Angry Birds, right? I'm not crazy. You take the slingshot and you shoot the guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I couldn't even really tell what the gameplay was, but it almost looked like a tabletop kind of thing. Am I crazy?
A little bit different. No, I don't know. I'd have to.
Yeah, I'm bringing up the trailer in a second.
I think he's getting the trailer. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
In general, it is like a slingshot game where you take out a tower and stuff. And this one has like some sort of co-op, so there's definitely some different mechanics.
Yeah. All right, here we go. I'm watching the trailer now.
But I will say the original Angry Birds VR that just came out recently, Bay of Pigs or whatever, is that what it's called?
The Isle of Pigs.
Isle of Pigs. I think that's pretty fun. I liked it. It's one of those things where you don't know why it needs to be in VR. You're like, really, am I about to play Angry Birds in VR? And then you do, and it's fine, and it's fun. You could show it to anybody.
And like I said, it's
kind of challenging too, honestly.
This looks like it has a ton of that same local non-VR co-op couch stuff going on.
Right.
It's like whole family sitting on a couch together.
When we were complaining about that lady in the Secret Life of Pets or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
This is the one I was thinking of because there's so many shots of a whole family sitting on a couch playing with shocks. Yeah. And it's so silly. I don't know why they keep doing that.
Yeah, I don't mind showing people like with a VR headset on. Like
they're all just laughing like idiots and they're not really playing a game. They're clearly not really playing a game. It just
Dave isn't fooled is what he's saying.
And I don't buy that shit for a second.
Yeah, a game like this that's like supposed to be family friendly, I will say I think I'm a little bit more okay with the whole local co-op because it's something that parents can play with their kids. Something like this I'm okay with the local co-op a little bit more.
I think honestly any game that has an idea to add it, not a bad idea because there are VR feels, and that's why people don't want to do it. Like your friend might not want to watch you play a game in VR, even if it's up on the screen. But if they can play with you and then swap out and then they're in VR, like it can be fun if you have a certain crowd of people who are into that.
I just don't get what this trailer shows. Like this trailer just shows like
laughing on a couch, and then there's like underwater scenes. There's like no gameplay in this fucking trailer, except for those people who are just pointing at a TV screen. And it shows a score, and then they're like, ah.
I predict this game will sell just as well as the first one.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. If not even better, because it's tied into a movie that kids have probably just seen, like are about to see. I don't know when it comes out, but. And some of these trailer shots look like stuff from the movie. Like that scene where they're coming out of the thing and they got the parkas on. Guy slides down. I think that's from the movie.
And this is oddly PlayStation VR exclusive, which is like.
Yes.
Really strange to me. The Angry Birds is something that you would not associate with like an exclusive title. But hey, what the fuck? Let's get it. And this is one of the games I think that Perp is publishing physically. Is that right?
Right.
So Perp basically announced that they're publishing Angry Birds Drunken Bar Fight, which is
such an odd decision. Speaking of local multiplayer, they're expanding the local multiplayer to 4 players. I think in Drunken Bar Fight, but with the current multiplayer they have, if it's just more players in that, that is terrible. Oh my, that's such bad local multiplayer. Like Pixel Gear has much better local multiplayer than fucking Drunken Bar Fight.
Yeah, no, totally. But they're also publishing Pixel Ripped 1989 and 95.
Yes.
95, is that the right year? Yeah.
Yes.
95, that's the next one, yeah.
Yep, and so they're going to publish both of those as well. And then also, which is my favorite announcement, was that they're also publishing Golem.
Whenever.
Release date TBA.
Right? 2025.
It's alive.
Yeah. No, but they showed a little bit more of, environments in Golem and stuff, and it looks a lot more impressive than it did, in 2015.
I still saw some shit that looked like a launch title, though, to be honest. In some of the cinematic cutscene type stuff, it looked.
Some of it was the same. It was the same stuff.
It's the same. Well, if they haven't improved it at all in the last 2 years, we're well beyond that. If it's a launch title that got stuck in development hell and still comes out like a launch title, it's going to be really disappointing.
No, I think
there's a decent chance that could happen. But
I don't think there's a decent chance that could happen. Like for whatever reason, I feel like, so often when we talk to developers, we go, hey, why haven't you implemented like the Skyrim method of movement? And they're like, oh, we haven't played Skyrim. I was like, how have you? What's going on here, right? Like how? And for a game, Golem was like one of the first. If it wasn't the first PSVR game ever announced, it was one of the first 2 or 3, and so I think it's been in development for so long that like when they missed their first couple, release dates, they had to go back and say, hey, we played these new games that came out, and like
that assumes that assumes that other developers are playing all the VR there, and I don't think that's the case. A lot of times when you interview these devs, they've played like 2 or 3 PSVR games.
Well, and that's
they're
what
like, I really like Super Hot,
right?
And it's like, okay, well, but we've played like 100, 200 of these fucking things.
Yeah,
like, and a lot of times they're so busy making their own game, and especially if you spend all day developing in VR, you might want to play a flat screen game when you get home, like.
No, that's true, man. That's true. But like, I feel like for whatever reason, and again, I have no basis for this at all. I just feel like these guys might be the exception to the rule, where like they were like, oh, you know what, we actually did play. We've played these other games, and we realized that our movement scheme doesn't work, that our attack scheme doesn't work, that this and that, whatever. And I feel like that maybe that they've said, we spent 5 years making this game. Maybe we need to like push it back until it's right, until it actually like meets today's standards. That's my hope.
Yeah,
that's my hope.
I mean, I wish there were more companies that seemed like they used any kind of outside consultant in terms of like what's acceptable in the marketplace, what are people doing, what works, what doesn't work. Yeah. Because a lot of times developers release a game totally unaware that it's not checking all the boxes for people, or it's hitting those things that people really, really don't like about a game, and like they didn't mean to upset anybody or make people not like it. They just didn't know better or think about it. And so I feel like there's got to be at a certain point like a language that's established in VR development. Like this stuff doesn't work. This stuff does work. Yeah. But any new platform takes time to figure that shit out. It's like developing a whole new construct of what a game is.
If only everybody could be Reggie from Strange Game Studios, who came into the chat and says, I can say that's the case with me. I rarely get time to play.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but
what's up, Reggie?
But then, what's up, Reg? But then Reggie does. He listens, right? It's like so we go, hey, this is the movement scheme that we're used to, and blah 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 blah. And he goes, okay, and he implements it, and then we go, that's not quite right. And then he goes, well, how is it? And then he fixes it when he realizes, that's not quite what we're looking for. It's not something that we've seen with a lot of developers. So
that's a hard balance to hit though, because a lot of I know Reggie is awesome, but he's a small team. It's like him and a few other, and so it's a lot easier to transition to new things or to decide, okay, we'll add this, we'll change this, because it's not like a full-on development team with 20, 30 plus people working on something where you have to completely change the project plan, and like you can be more flexible, I think, in that scenario, which is awesome.
Right.
But it's also why I think like Doom VFR never got updated and stuff like that, because they're done with it, they've moved on, it's Bethesda, they've got other shit they're working on, and it would require more for them to like dedicate themselves to that. Whereas like if you're a small indie dev, you can be like, yeah, that's a good idea, let me put it in tomorrow. You know what I mean? There's no turnaround time because It's just you.
So Gaggle the GameScat says Gollum. He like the pronunciation. Which
Gollum.
in the Lord of the Rings movies, which one is it?
Gollum.
Is it Gollum? Is it Gollum in Lord of the Rings?
It's Gollum.
That's how you pronounce it, Gollum. Okay, so I just wanted to double check to make sure I was pronouncing it right, because the game is different. The game is called, pronounce it Golem.
Because a golem is a real thing,
right?
Which the things in the game are golems, so it's definitely golem, yeah, right. For sure.
All right, I just wanted to double check, make sure I wasn't like totally off the mark here.
If all the enemies were tiny little creepy skinny guys, then you could call it golem, and that would be fine.
Right, and then there'd be big copyright issues all over the place.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna get 2 ones out of the way real quick, and then we've got two more really big ones to talk about.
We haven't even talked about. Oh God, yeah. Okay, keep going.
I don't even know what we're going to talk about. I don't have a list going here.
We'll go ahead. Yeah, we'll go ahead and talk about Solaris real quick.
We're going to talk about Solaris real quick.
This one, or Brian, why don't you? Brian or Dave, one of you take
Either way is fine. Brian, would you like to talk about Solaris? I'll have more to add afterwards. Okay, so Solaris, the trailer was a title screen. It was just the title of the game, a la Metroid Prime 4 in the Nintendo Direct, where they're just like, this exists. Okay. And originally they were saying it was for Oculus headsets. I think someone mentioned that maybe they backpedaled or said we're going to eventually release it on PSVR 2.
It's on their website. It says PSVR.
It does say PSVR? Okay, yes. So the main thing is that people are upset that it exists because Firewall is currently entirely broken still. Well, maybe I heard the newest update sort of fixed it a little bit, but they're going on a month now where people are still having major issues. And the thing that is a little worrisome about it, and not to be tinfoil hat here, but First Contact, their first game was ROM extraction. It came out as a demo, and then they said, okay, we're going to sell it as a full game and add some more content, but there's a ton more coming later. Just spend this $20 now, and it's early access. We'll give you all kinds of shit.
Was it $20 during early access? Wow.
I believe it was $20, yes.
Okay.
And so what they did is they charged people that money, and then they added one stage, so the existing
breaking up a little, Dave.
Like 15 minutes.
All right, Dave, stop and repeat from they added one stage, because I had no idea what you said after that.
So am I good now? Because
it
says my connection is bad. Okay, I don't know what's going on with my internet tonight. Right. Okay, we're back to full bars. So what I was saying is they added, basically the game amounted to 15 minutes of gameplay. And they kept saying, hey guys, we're going to add more to this. Don't worry. But to this day, years later, they haven't done it.
Yeah.
And so the previous history with First Contact is, as much as we love Firewall, they created a game, sold it to people, abandoned it to work on their next game. And right now, if you're a dev who has done that in the past, Firewall looks like a pretty sweet one to abandon right now, because people are already, it's a dumpster fire at this point. Yeah. In terms of the community response and the way people are treating the devs, and just it's gotten really crazy on their Discord and their Reddit stuff. So I feel like people are starting to worry that they're moving on instead of dedicating resources to fixing Firewall or continuing to support it.
They should hire a community manager to take care of all this stuff and respond to people and maybe keep everyone informed about what's going on behind the scenes. You don't think that would be a smart move?
Yeah, no.
Maybe somebody who could be open and transparent and talk about stuff.
Yeah, of course. There's a big Reddit post about all that stuff.
Yeah, I saw that Reddit post actually, and but to me, I know they daily, or not daily, but almost daily. And I've been watching some other people stream it with the updates, and it seems like they've actually made a decent amount of progress. But I'm really not interested.
7 patches, right?
Right. I'm not interested until I hear everybody say, "Hey, it's working again. Yeah. It's fixed." I don't want to hear, some people it's working for, some people it's not, or you have to do private matches to get it to work. I'm not interested in that. And, during this time, I really, really, all I want to say is that, I cannot wait for that game to be fixed. I will be first in line to jump back in playing it again. But at the same time, I really don't think it was the best idea to be a part of this E3 showcase and show off your game. If I was their PR or something, I'd be no, we are not doing anything. We are going in the bunker.
Especially because they didn't even reveal anything at all. Just it exists.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the name of the game, and that's it.
Your biggest plug or promotion on that was from the makers of Firewall Zero
which is
Hour,
currently in flames at the moment.
Why would you even want to be there? I don't understand what they're doing from a PR standpoint.
The other thing.
Let me say one more thing. Even if it's stuff is coming along nicely, they're not doing a good job of communicating that. And that's all I want to say.
Yeah, no, they've had terrible communication, and they say they're working on it, but they're not really working on it that much that I can see. But Seriously, they haven't been. There's no improvement. But the thing that I'll say is that even if they fix the matchmaking and the game starts working again, they keep saying, oh, we can't really say when it's going to be fixed. We don't know for sure. We don't want to get people too excited and then disappoint them. But what they could be talking about is what the hell they're going to do to reimburse people who spent $10 or more to get the season pass, the hack keys, all this stuff that they haven't been able to use for 3 weeks out of a season that lasts like 2 months, something like that. So like they've lost a bunch of their investment there. And those are the most hardcore people who paid for that. So it's like they haven't said anything about how we're going to deal with the fuck up that we made. And I'm just curious what the hell they're going to do.
You know, they need to take a page out of some when PlayStation Network was hacked and was down for 2 months, and everybody that like, you know, I don't know if that time if it was a paid service or not, but what they did was they offered free stuff. They gave you the choice of getting Infamous, getting some other games for free. It was your pick to say, oh, we're sorry, we really mean it. They just need to give a sincere apology. Give us some free content. Give the players free content once it's restored. Maybe add in, say, hey, we're going to go ahead and throw out this next map. They need to make sure that they reimburse some players, myself included, who paid for this pass thing, and they need to make sure they it would go a long way for them to just throw out a little bit of additional content and say, hey, we did this for you as an apology. Thank you for sticking with us, because there are people that are sticking through this and suffering. So they need to do something like that, and that would really do that with a sincere apology and get it fixed. And
I just don't think they have. I just don't think, from a communications perspective, to me, they don't have like a sincere bone in their PR structure.
I don't see any. I would agree with you.
So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see if that actually happens or not. But
even their guys that are meant to, handle all this stuff are getting lit up right now, and I don't like to see it. And I'm sure they don't like.
It's a little bit of it is self-inflicted because they've been dismissive and banning people for kind of stuff. So, they're not taking the feedback the way that they could, which is, hey, we did fuck up. They're sort of like, oh, I know more about this than you, and you're complaining because you don't know how hard it is, and all that kind of shit. So, yeah, whatever.
I will say from knowing full well like how long it takes to like put these kind of like presentations together, that like I guarantee you that the Upload VR presentation was like done and like solidified long before the Operation Nightfall DLC shit went down, right?
3 weeks is plenty of time to pull it, though. It's like a 30 seconds. It's a 30-second clip,
right? So that is like that was actually the next thing I was going to say. Like they probably got included ahead of time, but it was a poor decision not to pull it at the last minute and say, you know what, this is going to look really bad on us. To announce a new game that is not slated for PSVR according to the reveal, right? It's like it would have been one thing if they were like, hey, here's a PlayStation VR game that we're working on, and maybe even mention, don't worry though, we're still working on getting Firewall fixed. But to have no mention of the Firewall issue and then to announce a game for a different platform just makes you go, okay, so you kind of fucked us and now you're abandoning us. Like that's just the way it looks. I know it's not the case, I'm sure, behind the scenes, but it just looks bad.
You say that's not the case, I'm sure, behind the scenes. And everybody wants to give them the benefit of the doubt there. I do too, because I like Firewall.
Yeah.
And I've always had some hesitance about the company behind it.
Yeah.
Because I know that in the past they have done shady things, like the ROM extraction thing. That's the only game they created before Firewall, so the only history we have to consult.
And you have a video up about their history before that, even about the guy
and
leading
Adam
the company.
Orth, who got involved. Yeah. And he left after the game got released, but it's still the same leadership. It's still the same management. And so like if they made the decision on ROM to move forward that way and just swindle people out of their cash and say, oh, well, we just won't give them anything. I just don't have super high hopes for how ethically they're going to handle Firewall moving forward, especially switching it over to this like super DLC focused model where it's all about selling shit.
Right.
I don't know. We already paid for the game. Just let us play it. Let us fucking play it.
Decepticon was saying that, he was able to get into a handful last night, and I actually watched them open Petrifying Pumpkin stream. They were getting into it. The problem is not everybody is having that success, and it's taking way too much work to get a consistent game and everything. Before all this happened, all you had to do was public, solo, anything. Just jump in, and it was like lobby filled. Game starts. It was running so smoothly right before all this. So, I'm there with you, man. Like, there's nothing more than I want than it to work and everything. But it's the fact is, it's just not working for everybody right now, and that's the problem. Until it's working for everybody again, it's going to be an issue.
And to be completely transparent, hold on, Dave. I'm going to jump in. I've never had an issue with Firewall. The only stance I'm ever taking about having issues is from listening to the community. Like when everyone else was having the blue screen problems, couldn't get into a game, I went in with my standard account, like just like I always play Firewall. Went into the game, never had an issue. All these
we were playing private match.
It wasn't matchmaking. I played without you guys before it all.
Oh shit! It worked.
No problem at all. I've been the guy. I've been the guy since day one that's been like, no problem. Everything's great. And then and I drop in after every patch and I'm like, nope, still no problem. Like I'm like when a bunch of people are having issues, I'm the guy that's never having issues. So like
you've been touched by the Lord.
I wasn't having any issues before this. Zero.
Well, no, I mean I'm saying like before this, after this, anything. I've never had an issue with Firewall, and but obviously I'm in the minority. So like some people it works, for some people it doesn't, and
I think
I'll be very happy when it does.
I think if you had tried to play in squads on public after that first initial drop of Nightfall, you would have noticed the issues very quickly.
Oh yeah,
and if it's the kind of game where so for us, Firewall is a lot of fun, but we play a lot of different things. We play Firewall now and then. A lot of people, most of the people who play Firewall, I think, play regularly.
Yeah.
And it's one of the main games that they play on PSVR, if not the only game they play on PSVR. And so for people like that,
you make a good point. I don't play squads.
When you fuck up their daily video game routine for 3 weeks, that's gonna leave a stink, man. It's not good.
Yeah, if this was an unpopular game, I don't care. But this is a system seller. This is the only game people play in some cases, so it's gonna get a lot more attention. Real quick, Rypop, the Canadian $3.99 says, Firewall working or Golem? Which one comes first?
I'll give Firewall the nod on this one.
I think Firewall first, probably.
Firewall as well.
Yep.
Oh boy. But okay, so moving on. We hope that gets fixed soon. I really do.
Listen. Real quick before we move on, like we just this was sort of a negative, conversation. Like it's hard to stay very positive when it comes to talking about Firewall. So I want to move on from this in a very positive light and give away that North American PlayStation Network.
I wish I had an air horn here.
Well, here it is. There it is. You see it? It's on the screen. There it is. Okay. Yep. Okay. Good. Did you get it? Well, hopefully you did, because now it's gone.
I don't see. I didn't see. Hold on. There is a delay. Let's see here.
Yeah. It was there. Now it's gone.
You showed it. Okay.
North American PlayStation Network key. Whoever got it, please let us know and enjoy.
Good luck, man. Good luck whoever gets that.
Did you guys hear that?
That was so weak.
Wah, 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 wah.
But that actually made it better. How lame it was.
Nice.
Was that like a phone thing? Oh, there it is.
I just looked it up on YouTube. DJ air horn sound effect.
Nice.
So yeah.
I should have had that ready next time. So
I was like,
also we're gonna do this every week. We want to make sure that we give back to the community that gives to us so much. So every week on PSVR Gamescast Live, we're gonna give away a $20 PSN gift card. We're gonna alternate European, North American, so that it's fair. So next week will be a European PSN key. Keep your PlayStation Network up and ready for next week's show.
All right. So next we have something really exciting to talk about, and they didn't really showcase this on the Upload VR presentation. However, they had it there present, and we're going to talk about Sniper Elite.
Oh god
VR.
Damn! I didn't download this because I'm really bad at life.
All right, I'll give you a second.
No, it's okay. We're going to talk about it for a while.
So I've got some great news about Sniper Elite. I know they're already an established franchise. They're a lot of fans already. And the VR is supposed to be really cool. However, there are some key things that I've heard about the showroom floor people that are playing it. And they're basically saying that There is smooth locomotion.
Oh, guys, I'm super sorry. I got so cut off. Talking about Sniper.
Yeah, Sniper Elite.
Okay, cool. Continue. I just want to make sure we're.
Yeah. So there is supposed to be like, point to point gameplay where there's like open areas that you go around, and there is confirmed smooth locomotion, teleport. You can use the aim controller. You can use moves.
So smooth locomotion. Please pause and tell me. So is that full locomotion? Or is that
like smooth
yeah,
movement.
that's what that means.
Well,
smooth movement.
does it though? Because full locomotion and smooth locomotion, locomotion is blood and truth. Full locomotion
that's
is
node based.
That's
Dude,
node based.
Check out this trailer. Check out this trailer and tell me I'm wrong. Because this only
in the trailer they're using the teleport.
It only shows teleportation. Like I don't understand why you'd make a trailer and not show.
I think there is full locomotion in this one.
I don't think games show that off because by default it's off.
Right, because for some reason every VR
it's not for
motion sickness and likes to try and make a game. But they so this is the thing. They say smooth locomotion, looks like teleport, aim controller, moves, DualShock 4, and they say that blah 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 blah. There's also comfort options, what they say as well. So I don't think they would specifically mention a lot of comfort options if there was, I don't know, if there wasn't.
So here's the issue.
I think we can be pretty sure there's going to be locomotion.
Let's hope so. Because what they're showing in this trailer, and I don't mean to harp on forever about something that might not be an issue, is basically smooth teleportation is what they're showing. You point to a location and then boom, you kind of zoom over to it. They've
got them teleporting up a staircase.
Exactly.
Like in this video.
And
that's just using teleport. If this game doesn't have smooth locomotion, I'll give you $20.
If this is full,
I would bet money. I would bet money that it is smooth locomotion.
I'm just saying that this is a horrible way to advertise your game.
Brian, they're not advertising to us hard people who've played a shitload of VR, like would go crazy if a game didn't have smooth locomotion. They're advertising to regular everybody at E3. So I think that by default, the way they show off these games, this footage is from them demoing the game to some guy. You can see they got some dude in there playing it. Like, they're going to have those options on because a lot of people who come to the booth to try it out are going to be kind of forced to play with those options because they don't want to make people sick.
Magic says confirmed full locomotion in interview.
Yeah, no, they said it was full loco. I mean, it is, but a lot of games show off the teleport version of stuff. Like Doom VFR, I think the trailers
don't worry. The first time I saw it, that was my first worry too. And then I saw them teleporting up the stairs using the aim. I'm like, why are they teleporting using the aim? Like of all things. But no, it's smooth. There's comfort options though. There's going to be plenty of comfort options, but all the first impressions I'm hearing on this is that it's pretty pick up and play easy, and that it seems like a lot of fun so far.
Yeah, no, it's good to hear that's confirmed because again, this trailer was poorly done then because as Dave mentioned about Doom VFR was designed with teleportation with dual move controls in mind. I really feel like full locomotion was shoehorned in at the absolute last second because of that.
But it fucking works, man.
It does, but it
works.
But it's not nearly as much fun as how it was designed to be.
Oh, you're wrong.
All right, hold on. Why is Dave really loud? And Brian, why'd you get?
I don't know, man. I'll check my settings.
Quiet?
Yeah, you got a little quiet, and Dave got really loud.
Hold on, I don't know.
You sound fine now. Okay.
I sound
fine now.
Okay.
I think so.
I think I'll be fine too.
All right, but yeah, everything I'm hearing is really good first impressions about this game, and I'm hoping that they drop a demo for it. Is what my prediction, unless it comes out soon. I forget if there's a release date already.
It's certainly 2019.
Yeah, but I'm hoping we get a demo.
Actually, people in chat are saying your mic is low, Brian. I don't know.
Well, then maybe I'll. My mixing board is like totally messed up. Like we'll be halfway through filming a Why We Love PSVR episode, and suddenly the volume will be like half the volume it was before. Here, let me try to fix that real quick. Check 1, check 2, check 1, check 2. Ooh, that is not better at all. Hold on a second.
So print a lot. We already did the drawing for the Summer Funland. Somebody already won it, man. Sorry.
Check 1, check 2. Oh, there we go. We're all better.
That's much better, much louder.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Am I less loud now? Because I'm getting people saying I'm hugely loud.
I think you're okay. Did you turn it down or anything?
I did. Yeah, but it was the same place it was already, so I don't know what the fuck's...
No, you fixed it.
It's probably mixer stuff.
Yeah. So are we ready to... Did you guys want to add anything else on?
No. I think... So the thing that I'm excited about is what I see in this footage is a sniper scope that actually looks usable in VR.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it looks very large when you put it up. Look how big that fucking thing looks.
That's important.
It gets really close to your face. Most games that do sniper rifles in VR, it's so hard to use the damn thing.
Right.
And any little minor movement, you don't even know what you're looking at anymore. Yeah. So I think that it looks like, I mean, they have a series of sniper games. So I think they'll probably do a good job of making the sniper rifle feel good, which would make it probably the first actual fun to play game with sniping in it. Because like the sniping section of fucking Killing Floor Incursion is the worst part of the whole game. And sniping in Perfect Sniper is not that fun. Like, I haven't really seen a good implementation of sniping yet. This looks like...
You're absolutely right, though. That's a really great point. Whenever they mess up, even Blood and Truth, it's like the sights are so small.
Yeah.
You really have to make them bigger for VR. And yeah, that's a really good observation. So it
looks great in this one. So yeah, I mean, look how much of the screen it takes up. Puts it close to his face.
Yeah,
like huge. That's what you need to actually use a sniper rifle in this game. So yeah, it looks awesome.
All right, so what's next?
We have this one. I don't know if this is confirmed for PlayStation VR, but it's Hotel R&R, and it's basically by, I think, the same people. Oh, no, it's Wolf and Wood.
It's Exorcist Legion.
It's Wolf and Wood. Yeah. And they basically have you as a rock star in a hotel, and your objective is to just smash up the place.
This seems like a game that should have come out on PC. In the era of VR just being about fucking around with stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, from what I saw, that the whole thing is just you have increasingly high amounts of stuff you have to mess up or mess it up in a certain way. But it's just like, I've played VR games where you just hit stuff and beat stuff up and throw it around. Like, that's what Drunken Bar Fight kind of is. You just play around with stuff and cause destruction. And that's fun for 15 minutes to show your friends. But as a full game, like, I don't want to sit around and do that.
Well, see,
I saw in the trailer, it didn't look that exciting.
No,
and
but
I like Wolf and Wood for the most part. I just don't think that looks that great.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I mean, it looks kind of off, but who knows?
What I am disappointed they didn't show is I've seen GIFs on Twitter that they posted where there's a guy with like an electric eel, like swinging it all, flopping around and knocking stuff over with that. That looks like way more fun than the stuff they showed in the trailer.
My favorite thing to do in VR is to pick things up and throw them, and so they apparently made the best game.
This game was made for Bryan.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I know I don't know. It doesn't do anything for me. This again, like,
it could be like, it's like Rage Room. It's like what Rage Room wanted to do is what it's like.
It's like what we wanted Rage Room to do.
Right, yeah, like a semi-decent Rage Room.
I'm gonna say this is gonna be the best version that we'll see for a while.
Version of Rage Room. That is what
that is what I said. Yeah.
Okay.
This is, I don't know. This just looks, I don't know. This is like the pick things up and throw them version of Drunken Bar Fight. Like, this should be a mode in Drunken Bar Fight, right?
The only reason I say it'll probably come down a little higher than that is how it does look like there's characters and a storyline and stuff to do, and like some sort of unlocks and things that you work towards.
Right.
All these weapons and stuff, and there's sort of like
actual variety,
a campaign where you have to go through and do this time or do that this time, where Drunken Bar Fight has none of that. And Rage Room is just god awful. So I think this will be okay, but just not like that exciting to me. We'll see. It could be great. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like the guy's hands. His little silly hands.
Yeah, cartoon hands. I don't know. We'll see. I will say I like Wolfenwood quite a bit. Obviously, The Exorcist.
Share in a room.
Chair in a Room is awesome. I think even The Exorcist is awesome. They just never fixed it again for everybody. I think that there are some people who are constantly getting that game-breaking bug, or a few different game-breaking bugs. But I don't think at this point we're ever going to see that get totally fixed on PSVR. Unfortunately.
No. Yeah. I did actually. I liked Chair in the Room a lot because I could actually finish it without any bugs and stuff. So
Chair in the Room was awesome,
and it's a good game. It is good. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are down to one final game from E3.
What could it be?
Actually, unless you want to count the one that, you found that it was like shown from a while back. I don't even remember what it was called. It's some sci-fi looking game.
Who found it?
I missed out on that one. It was the one that I asked you about, Brian. You found it. They showed it with when at the Kind of Funny showcase. It was the one besides Walking Dead.
Oh no interest in going through that.
Okay, so the final one is an interesting one, which is why I saved it for, and that's going to be Undead Citadel.
Oh yeah, that's coming soon, isn't it?
Yep. Well, soon-ish, I think. I don't know if there's an.
There
actual
were rumors
official...
of a next week.
Of a next week? What? What
release date? Yeah, somebody was saying next week, but that's not true at all.
That is not true. 100% not true. In fact, Jesus, I wish I could find.
While you're finding that, Polish Ball says Abe, and yeah, that is not confirmed for PSVR, but it does seem like it very well could come. And Abe actually looks kind of cool. It's like a psychological horror experience kind of deal. Yeah, that,
hold on. We'll get back to Abe because I do have some inside information about that.
Okay.
But here, let's go back to Undead Citadel. Don't believe anybody who says that it's coming this week because Dark Curry, I think, is the developer.
Yes.
They have said over and over and over, this game will come out when it's ready, and I do not think that they would just like stealth release this thing, without a ton of announcements like leading up to launch. But it does look, I will say, it looks pretty amazing.
Real quick shout out to Wolfie Smith, the game. He says, I don't think any of our U.S. friends got the code.
Yeah, somebody else mentioned you should replay or put the...
I'd love to respond to what you said, Dave, but I didn't hear a word.
He's saying that he doesn't know if anybody got that you posted, the $20 US PSN.
Okay. Well, then we can do it again. There.
Yeah, JB, we went into great detail with lots more info on Aspire 1. So as soon as this is over, go back and watch it. 'Cause we got some great info on that game, and I can't wait for it.
Did I time that properly? Have you already put the code back up on the screen?
Now it was up, and now it's gone.
Okay,
Mark,
good.
guys, real quick, Mark Pringlesleaf says, I can buy one PSVR game, but can't decide between which one to buy, Zing or Ghost Giant. And I told him I would say Zing, but many would say Ghost Giant.
That's a tough call. They're radically different games. Anytime someone says, should I buy this game or this game? And I literally get comments every single day from people going, should I buy this or this? Should I buy Super Hot or Ghost Giant? And I'm like, what kind of game are you interested in playing right now? I think buying games is an emotional purchase. It's like I need to do this right now, and so I'm like, I'm not the guy that can tell you which game is better, because when you're talking about two amazing games, it all depends on what you want to do right now. So
yeah, if you want a really great but 3-4 hour experience to blow through, Ghost Giant. If you want a full length game like 15 hours and that's freaking awesome, Zing. Yeah. It's basically that way. A lot of people don't actually like playing longer games like I do. So, but I would like Zing was definitely my game of the year for a while until some other stuff came out, but definitely my favorite.
Oh, chat's got the code.
Nice shots.
Nice work.
Nice.
Yeah, well deserving. We're just exchanging money back and forth with Shats because
That's all we're doing. Shats paid for it,
so he gets a free PSN code right back. Oh, bam!
Nice. Congratulations, Shats. I'm glad somebody got it. So
yeah,
my initial impression was just gonna be like, well, I'll just leave it, and whoever like is the first to watch it back, and I think that's what we'll do in the future too. Like, so we'll show it for like 3 seconds or something, and if someone's ready to write it down, then awesome. But if not, then like we give a chance to people who aren't watching it live and get in.
You know that's what Polish Paul does, right?
What does he do?
I'm just saying that's what Polish Paul does.
Oh, I don't know. I wish I don't even know who Polish Paul is. Honestly. I don't know.
But anyways, did
Certainly
you
not allowed.
get the trailer for Undead Citadel?
It's been playing for like a half an hour. Yeah.
Oh shit! But yeah, Undead Citadel is one of my most anticipated games. I love the combat look. What they showed at the Upload VR was kind of slow paced and kind of like just creeping along. And I expect that to be the majority of the game. Is you're kind of like slowly running through this town and moving around and stuff. And of course, it's got the physics stuff again, where like you can chop off heads of zombies and stuff. It's a dark fantasy setting. I'm really, really excited about this one as well. This is probably my third, between 1 and 3 most anticipated games.
Yeah, I get real nervous about games like this. You know, from as far as I know, like relatively untested developers. You know, it's like, hey, it looks like kind of Skyrim like, but like, you know, like how is it all combat? I mean, obviously we've seen things that are not combat. We've seen, you know, some scenes where it's, you know, where it's indoors and you're picking up items and kind of adding to your inventory and stuff. But like, you know, how much narrative is there? I don't know. It's just I have so many questions about, you know, what this game plays like moment to moment other than the combat. But at least the combat looks good.
My main thing is this looks way too good to be true. You know, this is not what we're getting on PSVR. I guarantee you this is not what we're getting on PSVR.
Well,
this
Dave, I'm so glad you said this.
PC that we've ever seen running this shit, or it's pre-rendered somehow, because like this looks way too fucking good.
Well, then let me see.
I imagine the enemies are going to move a little bit more like they're in, you know.
Which trailer are you showing? Because it looked pretty okay.
This looks really smooth. This looks really dope. Like I haven't seen character animations.
Oh, he's playing
the level of graphical detail.
Yeah,
like this on PSVR, this is not going to happen. It's
no, the video they showed is a little bit different, but it did actually look pretty polished. It just wasn't that active. It wasn't that much stuff going on.
I mean, I'm saying it looks very polished, like to a point at which we can't expect it to be that polished when it actually gets on our headsets. Because that would be like Astrobot level shit if it really looked like this in real game. And I don't know who this dev is, but I don't think they're Studio Japan.
This is true. So let me download the little. It's this very, very short clip of them playing Undead Citadel on PlayStation VR.
Oh, there's actual gameplay footage.
Yeah, but I think it's just off screen. Like it's so.
Still, I would like to see that because I haven't seen that before.
Yeah, you won't be able to see like just how detailed it is, but it's basically them proving, saying, "Hey, don't worry, this is going to be pretty awesome on PSVR too."
And if it is, like, I'm just saying, these character animations even are just way more nuanced than.
I'm bringing it up right now.
Well, it's all about the melee combat and taking out this plague of like undead or whatever. So I'm pretty sure that's what the focus of the game is. So I don't know. I think it's actually when they showed the in-game play from E3 or whatever, it actually looked pretty polished in real time.
Yeah,
and they're playing on PSVR too.
And they were playing on PSVR.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, this is the stuff I'm showing right now. It's like just like a little piece of the screen, but it is. Oh crap! It ended. But
I wish I could see it. There's such a delay on watching it on YouTube. I'm still in the regular trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Here it is.
I see it. Yeah, and it looks amazing.
Right. For being
is that Jagno? Is that Jagno?
It very well could be.
I don't know. I think it's just the Dark Curry people, but.
Yeah.
Honestly, it looks pretty good. Maybe it's because they go to slow-mo so often that they can render stuff that detailed because it doesn't have to keep a high frame rate.
I honestly
Right.
think
You know what
I honestly think they just have amazing art direction. Like I don't think they're doing anything spectacularly like over the top amazing with like particle effects or anything crazy.
Right.
I think
Well,
they
the
have a,
dismemberment was awesome, and the character animations on that shit are next level. Like that actually looked really good. I haven't seen that footage before. I'm kind of surprised.
Looks
So
like
maybe I take
dark
back what I said
fantasy
about it.
House of the Dead shit. Looks awesome.
Yeah, no, I'll play the shit out of this. This looks pretty good.
nice. And then what was the last one we wanted to talk about? I forgot.
Abe VR.
That's right, Abe.
Oh, Abe VR, yeah.
Okay, let me download the trailer for that.
Yeah, Abe VR looks pretty cool. It's been out for a while, and I don't even know if it was a VR experience originally. There is a VR full game for it or whatever.
There's three things. There's three things. There's like a movie experience. There's a location-based VR thing where like you go to a VR arcade somewhere and they have it set up, and it's like designed around that game. And then there's the game release. Those are all three separate things, but they're all Abe. And so I guess maybe one or two of those already exists. Probably like the short film I think exists.
There is a VR. Yeah, there's like experience, and it's a psychological horror about a robot looking for love in all the wrong places, and I guess he ends up like kidnapping some kind of girl or something. And it actually looks really cool, really creepy, really twisted stuff I'm into.
And the first thing we need to discuss about this is the logo that pops up before the game trailer starts, and that's Hammerhead. And the only thing that Hammerhead has done on PlayStation VR before was Siren. So I think we need to be
ouch.
of all,
Ouch.
First of all,
No
temper
way.
our expectations, right? Because
Right.
Siren did not come together very well on PC or on PlayStation VR. So I was a little shocked to see that they hadn't ironed out the problems from PC when they brought it over to PlayStation VR. And it might have even come over with more problems than we anticipated. So that's that. However, Hammerhead reached out to me personally through DM this morning, and I haven't actually had a chance to get back to them. They want to talk about like promoting Abe. Now, the issue with that is that even in the DM that they sent me, they said we have not. Can we look at this for a second here? So I know you guys are delayed, but they just showed a scene ripped directly out of the Brookhaven experiment.
I saw somebody comment
Somebody
on that.
mentioned that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw somebody comment on that. Hey,
That room is 100% identical to the kind of Resident Evil looking stage, the Halloween stage in Brookhaven. I'm very, very curious to see like what that's all about. Why is that a thing? But anyway, but getting back to the topic is that they even in the DM that Hammerhead sent me, they said it's not confirmed. We have not specified what platforms it's for. But I don't
think it doesn't look to me like a PS.
But
I don't know.
But my question is, and I'm just again speculating, why would they reach out to a PlayStation VR centric channel if it wasn't going to be a PSVR game?
I don't know, man. I'm just saying. Maybe they didn't realize. I've had people send me all kinds of codes for PC shit. People are always sending
That's
me
true.
codes for
I think
PC
this is the
stuff.
difference here. Is this isn't? I don't know if this is an actual game. This is like an interactive kind of movie, isn't it? So don't they have like a little bit more? They can utilize a little bit more resources and fidelity of it.
So
like
I don't know though, because for instance, the fact that it is both a movie and a location-based VR thing. Location-based VR is usually about putting you in a room where you can move around a big space and interact with actual physical things that are represented in the game. Like the Star Wars Void experience is one of those location-based VR, where there's literally stuff in the real world that corresponds to the game. And so I feel like why go to all the expense of making a location-based VR thing if you just sit there and let a movie happen to you? You know what I mean? So I think there might be more to it than just that.
Yeah.
Is why create something that is specifically a location-based VR experience if you're not going to have any kind of tactile or moving around or like gameplay experience?
Real quick,
it just seems like there might be some to it.
That space shooter game, the Game Cat, he wrote, I watched I Am Mother on Netflix. I also watched I Am Mother on Netflix, and I thought it was pretty good. Pretty good stuff. Nothing crazy over the top, man, but it was a fun little movie to watch. All right, and does that pretty much cover the?
That is your E3 showcase. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 announcements.
One, two,
Some
three,
of this
four,
was
five,
in the form
six,
of DLC. Some of this, it's not all just new games announced. Some of it was DLC. But yeah, for everyone that was really concerned, this is all stuff that has been confirmed coming to major platforms or PSVR confirmed. So yeah, that's a lot. And it was a really great showcase. Thank you once again to Upload VR for doing this. It was a lot of fun to cover. And, you know, yeah, thank you for all the developers for participating as well and showing us your games. We look forward to playing them.
Yeah, and then just we there are a bunch of other games that were shown off that look amazing. You know, Disciples of Dawn looked amazing, but we just don't want to spend a ton of time on games that like are not even like speculating, that we can't even speculate are coming to PlayStation VR yet.
Yeah,
because obviously there's so many more games on PC for a reason, and mostly because it's cheaper to develop for, and because they don't have to go through Sony certification, and it's just really way cheaper and easier to develop for PC right now. So hopefully that'll change when when PlayStation 5 comes out. Having a little bit more horsepower to deal with, and hopefully Sony lightens up a little bit on their certification process. But we'll see how it all goes down. Guys,
you want to touch base on what we've played real quick?
Yeah,
no?
That's exactly where I want to go. And what have we been playing this week?
All right, you go first.
Me?
I think we did this at the beginning of the episode. We've just been.
I actually didn't. I didn't mention a couple things.
Oh, okay. I guess we jumped in early. Okay, well, I did mine.
Yeah, I've actually already done mine too, because I played Honor and Duty D-Day twice this week. And both times I had a specific purpose in mind to go and capture some footage or something. And both times I ended up spending like 3 hours just nonstop because I love that game.
Yeah. I'll just say real quick. So this weekend I played some. That's something else I'm looking forward to getting to the DLC. Borderlands 2, guys, if you haven't played it yet, with the aim controller, it's absolutely amazing.
Oh, yes.
It's basically Skyrim's counterpart, in which that's a fantasy game. This is a action-packed shooter, uses the aim controller, and it's pretty amazing. Real quick, Delirium, my good buddy Dell, with the $5 donation, says, join the Discord, buy Space Junkies, hang out, chat, and meet up for multiplayer and VR. Thanks for the show, guys. Thank you, Dell. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thanks.
He knows what he's talking about.
But yeah, Borderlands 2, in my opinion, if you haven't played the game before, is an absolute must. While it's still on sale, I think for $30, and if you have an aim controller, especially.
But it's fun with DualShock 4 too. Even if you only have a DualShock 4, it's still a great time.
Right. And I also played the Beat Saber pack, which we talked about. I'm not a fan of Imagine Dragons, but I enjoyed the DLC a lot. I do wish it was a little bit tougher, but I'm not complaining because it was. There are 2 songs on there, Radioactive and Warriors, where it's like I had to slow down the time and learn it, and then practice it, speed it up a little bit until I got to normal time. The other thing I played was, so next week we actually have Vacation Simulator coming out. So I wanted to dive in and play Job Simulator, which, believe it or not, I've never played Job Simulator, because I was a little worried about it, that I wasn't going to like it and everything, and boy was I wrong.
Yeah,
I was
it's
actually
so entertaining.
I was
fucking
really
great.
surprised how much I liked Job Simulator, because that's usually like the kind of game I hate. But it was actually pretty.
I heard
amazing.
everything's better in VR.
Yes, everything is better in VR.
I heard VR makes everything better.
Oh, is
VR
that how
does
you
make
say
everything
it? I'll say it your way next
I
time.
gotta give props to Alchemy Labs. I'm never been more hyped. I was already hyped for Vacation Simulator. I was trying to hold out for one, and I've never been more hyped for Vacation Simulator, because I think it's going to be much better and much more fleshed out. And the graphics, Job Simulator came out in like 2016. And the graphics are like perfect. I mean, usually even with the best graphics, you get a little bit of blur here and there. There was like nothing. I mean, it was clear, it was crisp. The humor was funny. The tracking, that was when you were talking about throwing stuff and the tracking, I was able to throw everything exactly where I wanted.
Actually, I take back what I said. That game does do really well. I haven't played it in so long, I forgot. But yeah,
I was so surprised. Anything I did overhand, that probably has some of the best tracking I've played on PSVR. So really excited for that. And that is about it. I did get the Platinum Trophy in one run. So for all you Platinum Trophy hunters out there, you can get the Job Simulator 1 in about 3 hours. And then I also saw a little tweet. This isn't something I played, but I did play Immortal Legacy, and I really like the Type C controls from the new update. So if you haven't played Immortal Legacy yet, go check it out. They've updated the controls. I've already had some people in the chat say they absolutely love the new control scheme, and I'm so happy because you're going to run into some shit in that game once you get like to the halfway, or once you get about 2 hours in, hour or two in, that once you get to the caves in that game, just have fun, guys, because shit's going to get real. Finally, the last thing I know of is I just saw a tweet from Contagion devs, and they basically said that they are in full force now working on Contagion for PSVR, and they expect it to be released sometime soon.
Sweet.
Nice. That is good to hear. Let me ask you a question. Hopefully you have the answer. I do not have the answer to this. I know that I think it was Bethesda's. No, that's not right. Whose conference was it? Obviously, it wouldn't be Bethesda's. Was it Microsoft's conference where they did the
Keanu Reeves?
No. No, but Epic, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Where they talked about Borderlands 2 getting basically
DLC, yeah, and it's already out.
That
it's
preps
out
you for
now.
That preps you for Borderlands 3. It kind of like connects the games. Are we getting that for VR? The VR.
Well, so what they've said in the past is, I think they've said all DLC is coming to VR.
Right, all DLC.
We're getting at least. Yeah, we're at least getting the Tina. What is it called? Something Tina, and there's like
it's Lilith. It's Commander Lilith, and it's the
that's
fight
the
for
new
Sanctuary.
one. Well, that's the new one, but there's there were previous DLCs that we don't have yet.
Oh, right.
Said that they want, and I think we're getting those too.
All the DLC, all of it.
So something to look forward to, because any reason to go back and play Borderlands is a good reason.
Yep.
To play Borderlands.
Yeah.
Or no reason is a good reason to play Borderlands.
Okay, I just didn't know if they said anything specifically. I know that they said we're getting all of the DLC, but that was before this new DLC was announced. I just didn't know like if anything was said specifically.
And I just want to go back and clarify what you were saying earlier about the new DLC for Beat Saber being too easy. Everyone should know that Godcannon is like way, way too good at Beat Saber.
Yeah.
So he says this from a place of being like, oh, that Expert Plus song made me snooze.
I didn't think about it.
Expert Plus.
And I've played
for most
more
people,
and
it's
more.
not too easy. It's still fucking hard to play on Expert
You know,
Plus.
I apologize for
He's
that.
a god among men.
No, I'm not. I'm definitely human.
He's pretty good at it, though. That's all I'm saying.
I will die and bleed out just like the rest of you. I forgot one thing.
I'm gunning for you, though. I'm gunning for you.
It probably just seems easier to me because I've played so much, and I played the Monster Cat pack ad nauseum on Expert Plus. I played the originals, which are both difficult and have horrible mapping, and I've managed to get through some of those. So I think when I say that I think it's easier, I think it's a little misleading because it's probably just that I've gotten better at the game. So it's probably just coming off as a little easier. Hugh Guyver with the $2 donation. Thank you so much, my man.
Thank you.
So yeah, I do apologize for that. And I don't mean to come off like that way. It's I wasn't thinking about it.
But there are plenty of people that are at AJ's level that like have said
for sure,
the Imagine Dragons DLC is like too easy.
Yeah, and I've definitely heard that. I just wanted to as a clarification, mention that that's because he is really good at Beat Saber.
Exactly.
Not because like I'll think it's too easy.
Yeah, I'm going to struggle with like hard difficulty. Forget about Expert or Expert Plus. I'm going to struggle getting through those because I just don't have. I just don't have time to play Beat Saber like I want.
I think I've graduated to Expert at this point. Like yesterday, I was getting super locked in on some Expert songs.
Yeah.
And to just play a song for the first time on Expert and pass it with like an A.
Yeah.
That feels pretty good. Like just sight reading it, no practice, just going in and being able to do that. Like, it's hard to get to that point. So
I
hopefully,
laughed to
eventually, I'll be
myself.
like AJ, but we'll see.
I had a funny conversation with Madman earlier on. He was talking about it, and I was just telling him, like, look, the truth is, I locked myself in a room for a month and played that game and got the platinum trophy, and it was like, I mean, I put in an extra 20 hours into that game. So it's definitely something you have to work towards, and I also have a little secret that I shared with him, which I'll share with you guys, is that I do have a little bit of a drumming background, so I can play drums. So I think, unlike Guitar Hero, knowing how to play guitar does not help you in that. But I think with Beat Saber, I think having a drummer background does help you a little bit in that as well.
Yeah,
but
and I think I'm good at it because I'm always LARPing with lightsabers. Just always doing Star Wars fucking live action roleplay. And I get to be Luke every time. Nobody else gets to be Luke.
So in other words, AJ's official Beat Saber tip is, if you want to get better at Beat Saber, learn to play
drums your whole life.
Thank you, Nova.
Right.
Thank you, Nova.
Excellent. Hey, a couple things here. I want to give a shout out to Aceville. He called you a machine, AJ, which I totally agree with. But Aceville,
he's a machine.
But if you want to hear Aceville's like crazy ass Brooklyn accent, then stay tuned to tomorrow's viewer takeover, because he does like an awesome viewer takeover introduction. You get to see his kid, you get to see his cat, and man, it's always cool. We don't get to see Aceville himself, but we do get to hear his voice, and I think that was almost as good. So stay tuned for that. And I think this is kind of do it, guys. This has been a long Gamescast. It's been we're coming up on the 3 hour mark.
It's only
here.
been 3 hours. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, we should have come up with a new top 20 list at this point.
Hey, we could start now.
We could totally start now. AJ, we're down to do the simultaneous Immortal Legacy stream.
Let's talk about it after.
Let's talk about it after. Okay, so maybe it might not happen.
I'd like to watch you guys do that. I'm sure other people.
It might. There's a good chance it'll happen. I just need a breather for a minute.
I need a breather too.
Oh yeah, no, we've been going for 3 hours straight. I understand.
And that's another 3 hours, 3.5 hours.
Yeah,
you're not going to play the whole game, are you?
Yeah.
Oh Jesus!
Have you ever watched us stream anything?
But him and I can both.
I
play
watch
through
the
whole
streams
game.
all the time. Get out of here.
We only play for ridiculous amounts of time. That's
I know that. You know, I sat through that whole Kowloon's Gate, even though
epic Candy Love.
I had played the first like 2 or 3 hours of it, and then I told you to check it out.
Yeah.
And as soon as you checked it out, you played the whole thing, but I couldn't take my eyes away, so I never finished it. Because I saw you play the whole fucking game in front of my eyes, even though I was the one who was like, "Bryan, go play this."
Yeah.
So I loved that stream, and once I start watching, I have trouble stopping. But
that was a classic.
I don't have much to do tomorrow. So
all
candy
right.
love to everybody out there. Big candy love to
Lots
all
of
y'all.
Candy Love.
All
Guys,
this preparation for E3. There's on my notes.
Yeah, and before we started the show, he sent me a picture from his phone, this little notepad. That's what I used to prepare.
This is where the magic happens.
Meanwhile, I was like still in bed. He sent me that list. I was like, I'm just waking up. I haven't even had my coffee yet, and like you're already prepared for the show.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm
and
not.
it was sideways too. You gotta adjust that
prepare.
orientation. But
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I texted Bryan too. I was like, I'm sorry if you pants. But here's what we're working on.
Yeah, I'm glad AJ prepares for this, because I don't have time to prepare for the show. Anyway, I had a lot of fun, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, AJ. Thank you to all the cats. Remember to hit us up on patreon.com/withoutparole games for $1 or more every month. Make sure you submit your viewer takeover questions in the comments below with #viewer takeover. Make sure you change your name to GameCat, #GameCat, so we can give you a shout out on next week's viewer takeover. And make sure you join our Discord server.
Surgically turn your body into a cat's body and get a big tattoo that says "Bryan loves us all" on your tits. Continue.
You need to start saying. You need to bring that back, Bryan. By the way, you need to start saying I'm Bryan Paul. I miss hearing that.
Yeah, people they need to know that you really love them.
Yeah, they don't know. They're lost little kitties without you.
And everybody needs a catchphrase. I mean, come on.
As always, that's Dave, that's AJ, and I'm Bryan Paul, and we love you all.
Later, guys. Have a good night. Oh wait, we're gonna sit here and you guys got stories to tell?
I don't think I have a story this time.
No.
I can't do this.
I'm gonna Google good story and I'm gonna tell that story.
my stories are they require 70% authenticity.
This is an inspirational short story.
And then I just make
Here we
up
go.
30%. 100%. Make sure you don't get a copyright.
I started having this strange feeling of loneliness, self-pity, and sadness in my first year in college. I don't know this is going to be uplifting. I had no idea what it was. My name is Eric Silver, and this is my story. His name's Eric Silver? Okay. I was a brilliant student in school, even though I could be nonchalant sometimes, which I felt was commonplace amongst kids my age. I was given a task by my teacher, which was to make a list of items needed for a particular class experiment. She, as always, saw me as this carefree and unserious person. This story sucks. I'm bored already.
Totally failed.
Let's go to My Dad is a Hero. This one's way shorter. My dad works at an automotive plant, and while working, he noticed the lights flicker and heard a noise indicative of electrocution. He ran to the area and saw 3 men standing outside of a machine in shock. When he asked if everyone was okay, they said no and that someone was dead. My dad asked if someone was in the machine still, and when they answered yes, he ran inside, felt for a pulse. Parentheses, there was none. Pulled him out of the machine and brought him to the ground floor. My father had radioed his coworker, who was a volunteer paramedic at the plant already, and when his friend got there, they cut his shirt off, performed CPR, and used an ADP on him. Everyone truly believed this man was dead, but my dad said he could just feel that he wasn't, that he saw life in his eyes still. The man is alive today after receiving more than 14,000 volts of electricity, only losing a pinky finger in the trauma.
Yay!
I am bored out of my fucking skull. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, no, it's terrible.